YouTube. Give me a moment. What is going on for everybody tuning in to the YouTube stream? It is so good to see you today. We are going to go and hop straight into our debates with over 100 Trump supporters. In fact, our first guest of the night, his name is Shane, and Shane voted for Trump and still supports him today. Shane, go ahead and take that mic from me and tell us why you support the worst president of your lifetime, Donald J. Trump.
He's the GOAT.
And why is that?
He's a gangster. He don't give a fuck. He does whatever he wants.
Okay. So you like typically think that kind of doing whatever you want and not giving a fuck is like a really positive attribute of a president?
It can be to a certain extent.
I'd respond to that by saying no, because typically people that kind of just do whatever they want are not really making a consideration for what other people want, but the job of being the president of America is a job of considering what other people want, particularly the 330 million constituents of this country.
But if you're doing it for the good of the people, then...
Oh, so in other words, your argument is he's doing a bunch of shit that's for the good of the people. So what's one of the things he's done for the good of the people?
First, he's getting these aliens out of here by the masses.
Okay, so first, let's not refer to humans as aliens. I don't know what kind of movies you're watching. Let's refer to undocumented migrants as undocumented migrants. A big part of that is, of course, respect. Another big part of that is just TikTok terms of service. I don't want it to get taken down because of a silly guy saying silly things. So I want to ask you, why do you support mass deportation? Can you name one way the undocumented migrants in America hurt the American economy?
Yeah, they're getting put up in free hotels and they're given pay phones and all this crap.
Okay, sir. Well, that's just simply not true, Shane.
I saw it on the news.
So, I mean, any type of like services such as free housing, et cetera, that you're seeing on the news in cities like New York City, et cetera, those are like some benefits that are provided to asylum seekers. And just full stop, asylum seekers are not undocumented migrants. In fact, they are legal migrants.
But if Kamala would have won...
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I just saw like a bunch of people in the chat spamming, look at his name. And I've been looking at his name for like the last minute and a half. And I've been trying to figure out why you guys were telling me to look at his name. I had no fucking clue why everybody was spamming to look at his username in the chat. And I was just sitting there trying to read it to figure out why everyone was spamming that. And then it like hit me and I was like, holy shit. I can't even repeat what his name was. So if you're watching over on YouTube, just know that it was really bad. Anyways, Carter, what is going on? Do you support the president? All right, Carter dropped. Well, we're going to go to try to get that next guest, Riley, up in here. I see a lot of people asking what it is. I can't repeat it, dude. We all know TikTok TOS. I'll get taken down in a second. Just know that it was terrible. We're going to go to try to get that next guest up here, y'all. For the 7,000 people tuning into the live, first and foremost, good to see you all. Second of all, it has proven to be quite difficult to find people to debate us today. Honestly, I'm surprised by the lack of conversations that we're getting on the stream. It looks like the Trump supporters are very scared today. I think that every guest that we've had has essentially come up here, said nothing, and left on their own accord, kind of like the last two guests in the last 5 seconds. So, rough day, you guys. The Trump supporters are scared. But listen to this. If you support the president and you have a spine, you have a backbone, and you don't think that, you're scared of engaging in a good faith conversation with somebody that disagrees with you politically, go ahead and hop in that queue for me and drop a mag in that chat. What is going on, Jamal? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do, brother. How are you doing today?
I am doing phenomenal, sir. So why do you support the president?
As a current service member, I believe that with everything going on in this country, that Trump has been doing a great job of not only supporting civilian ends, but military ends as well.
Yeah, honestly, if I was in the American military right now, I'd be scared shitless. I mean, like, we have this tyrant saying that he may want to use us to, like, invade Greenland, and he's now started an economic war with the rest of the world, and he wants to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip and take it away from the Palestinians, which may imply some use of the military there. I'd be terrified if I was you. I'm not going to lie. Tell me what you mean when you say that he's doing really good things for the military. Like, what is one of these really great things he's done?
I mean, it's all a matter of opinion, honestly, but just in a sense that he's taking care of the military in a way that
What has he done for
most
the
people.
military?
I mean, it's like it's not really a sense of like, oh well, this reason's better than the other, but just as far as like a morale in terms of like I'm not expecting like anybody to understand it other than service members, but it's a big morale thing, and as far as his respect towards the military and what he has shown in a respectable sense, what should be shown from like
I
he
mean,
does what
so
he's
you're just
supposed to
kind of
do.
just describing rhetoric, okay? And this is why you should have voted for Harris. So, like, first and foremost, under the Biden-Harris administration, they passed a PACT Act that funded the VA an additional $800 million to provide more benefits to more veterans. Donald Trump is actually cutting the VA as we speak. So I don't know about the morale that some of our veterans feel towards the administration. I bet they would definitely agree to disagree with you. But here's what else I will say. I think that all service members of this country should either stand in vehement disregard and opposition to Donald Trump, or I don't really understand why you're serving at all. Because I feel like typically when I'm talking to service members, they tell me that they're willing to lose their life to protect American civil liberties and freedoms. They're willing to lose their life to uphold the American Constitution, to protect our civil and electoral processes, to protect the democracy. But Donald Trump is the largest internal threat that we've had on these things since the Civil War. I mean, shit. He tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020. He's currently attacking news organizations, calling them illegal, disrespecting their constitutional right to exist under the First Amendment. He called for the termination of the Constitution in totality in December of 2022. And I mean, I mean that's just scratching the surface, man. I feel like any service member that's willing to lay their life down for this country would obviously stand in opposition of the largest internal threat to it.
Yeah, and everybody's like um allowed to voice their opinions, and everybody's going to be at a disagreement. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my view on it.
Could you tell me
As
why my
far as
view's wrong, though? Because our views are diametrically opposed. You disagree with mine. So please tell me why you disagree with my view. Like, you took an oath to
it's
protect and uphold the Constitution, then
of
you hear our
course.
president calling for its termination, and you're like, he's doing a great job. Could you just explain that to me?
I mean, I could just say that some things. I mean, it's all like you're obviously well prepared for speaking in masses and like all of this. I'm tip like not you. All right, and I'm not trying to say that one's better than the other, but as far as like a speaking, like in speaking terms, you're definitely on your on your thing, and I'm not gonna hate on you or you know talk badly about somebody because of their beliefs, but um, I appreciate everything that President Trump has done as far as just a respect standpoint, where he has shown up to multiple uh, veteran funerals
Oh, hey.
and
Didn't
shown his
wasn't he
respect.
golfing at Mar-a-Lago on the day of the funeral and burial services of the 3 or 4 military service member who died in combat training in Europe?
Hold on a second.
Like, oh my god, like I remember under like the Biden Harris administration when Biden was at a funeral for service members, he checked his watch and the Republican media went nuts, okay? But when Donald Trump completely misses a funeral service for 3 to 4 service members who died in combat training in Europe and instead decides to go golfing on top of the fact that he is currently destroying the American Constitution and now we are in a constitutional crisis, he's the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, here's what I'll say, okay? I think that the average American is not too informed on American politics, and I think that's expected. Being informed on politics doesn't really serve much utility, to like very like privileged Americans like you and I. So therefore, there's not a lot of motivation to kind of put the time into studying and researching politics. But I think it's very useful and beneficial, especially for somebody in your shoes. Because what it will make you realize is that Donald Trump stands for everything you're losing your life to that Donald Trump stands against everything that you're losing to lay down your life to defend.
And that's understandable. I can understand that standpoint. I can understand your opinions, your research. You obviously are well prepared. I don't believe in any way is anybody in here wrong. It's just a matter of, it's just a matter of opinion, and it's fine to have disagreements. Like the political parties, in my opinion, should honestly just stop having so much hate towards one another, because that's when things get violent in America, is when people stop talking. So I'm very appreciative and thankful that you allowed me in here to just to chat with you.
I mean, I appreciate the sentiment of what you're saying, but doesn't like the military completely stand against this? Like the idea of like the American military is to like execute unalive and expel like people who you think are bad. Like when Donald Trump is like bombing Yemen and like unaliving and individuals there, you're like, well, that's a good thing because they're either a threat to national security, they're doing really bad things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, wouldn't we just be able to apply exactly what you just said? Well, it's just a matter of opinion. You know what I mean? Like, no, I think at the end of the day that there is fact and there's fiction. And I think that we need to align ourselves with fact. And when you align yourself with abusive fiction that hurts people, that's something that's very bad. But at this point, I don't really think that we're having much of a debate. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, but I do appreciate you for your time.
Well, of course, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we're going to move on to the next guest. By the way, I just want to preface, if you guys are coming up here for a conversation, like the idea that it's okay to disagree isn't like, we're here to like sort out our disagreements through debate. So make sure that you come up here like willing to defend your view while also being willing to dispel my own, because that's not what a debate is. What's going on, Griffin? Do you support Trump?
Hey, yo. No, I'm not here. I'm against.
All right. Sorry, dude. We are just looking for debates. I guess we haven't really had one debate yet today. We're going to move on. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, you can find the link to my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio, everybody, as well as you can find it in the pinned message over on the YouTube stream. And I'm going to go ahead and get that one set up right now. But we're just still trying to get the next guest in here, you guys. We are going to get that first debate underway right now. If you are one of the 7,000 people watching, please do double tap away on that phone screen. What's going on, Wildcat? Do you support Trump?
So I'm kind of on the fence about it now. So I voted for him in 2016 and 2020.
Who did you vote for in 2024?
No, I'm sorry.
What's that?
I didn't vote.
Okay.
I didn't vote.
Hey, well, Wildcat, I think that's great. I do think that the better place for you to be is just kind of like in the viewership. So you could like hear what I have to say, hear what people that support the president have to say. But if you're like somebody that just straight up didn't vote and you don't really know who to support, I feel like the better position for you is to just be watching. But I do appreciate you for coming up. We're going to get that next guest up in here literally right now. What's going on, Noah? Do you support Trump? Noah, we're going to give you around 5 seconds here to say what's up. And Noah just left on his own. All right, moving on to our next guest, Alan. Man, what a rough day, quite frankly. Not having a good time finding debates. That's the truth. So, what's going on, Alan? Do you support Trump?
Hell yeah, yes, I do support Trump 100%, without a doubt.
Alan, why the hell? Why the hell do you support the worst president of your life, possibly of your mother's life too, of your grandmother's life, like that?
I mean, he's changing the nation in only positive ways. I mean, I just saw a clip on someone in the Congress saying how before for Obama, and basically when the left was serving, they're always asking who should we tax more because we need more money. But right now, they don't need more money. And you think Trump needs? He has good intentions. Like he's very, very thoughtful. He remembers things like the guy earlier who was speaking, who was in the military or whatever. Like he would go and on the holidays, would go visit them and like show his love. He's a very considerate person.
This is such propaganda. You cannot tell me that Donald Trump is thoughtful about the military. When we've had hundreds of thousands of individuals lose their life to protect our Constitution, and then he belligerently goes on a temper tantrum on Truth Social in December of 2022 after he lost the election, saying that we need to get rid of the Constitution. And this was a year and a half after January of 2021 when he straight up tried to rig and steal the 2020 election from Biden.
Okay, so On what proof do you have of him trying to rig or steal the election?
Yeah,
When
his own admission of guilt. He admitted to it inside of Congress.
that's illegal. Wouldn't you get? Wouldn't there be penalties and stuff? Look, I just see
So, do you want me to answer that question?
everything he's doing, he's pre-planned out. Like right now, one thing I wanted to say about if consumers go directly to the producer and cut out the middleman, like, you think Trump needs your money? You think he cares about that? He already has. He wants to actually help the country. Like,
If Donald Trump doesn't care about our money, how come he unironically rug pulled billions of dollars from his supporters with his Trump meme coin?
Because all that money that was pulled was funded for bullshit. Excuse my language, but I mean,
sir, I want you to like slow down and listen to what I'm saying. He rug pulled billions of dollars away from his own supporters that had bought his meme coin.
that you have no evidence that he's linked to that at all. He does not care about people's money.
Sir, sir, he's the one that launched it. He still advertises it until this day.
Well, and it's like, guess what happened? Cryptocurrency happened. The transfer, the change that's inevitable happens with all cryptocurrencies. With anything you do, it's like the rug pull is. You can't claim that to be his. If he did it on to a point where it was actually real, he'd be in jail, or there'd be a huge the media. They're on his ass.
Haley Welch rug pulled her supporters 3 months ago. She's not in jail. I think that she's chilling on a beach.
Isn't she wanted or some shit?
She's chilling on a beach. Sir, stop interrupting me.
Sorry.
Okay, we're just gonna draw back to the basis. So I brought up the fact that Donald Trump, the last thing Donald Trump is thoughtful. I gave you a couple examples of this. The second example I gave you is when he tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020. I think that this is the last thing any thoughtful human would do. This was such a good example of how narcissistic and self-centered he is. Like for instance, he was willing to suppress the voice and the vote of every single American citizen because he didn't like how they voted, and he tried to install himself for a second term, even though the public had voted him out. Okay, right? And you're asking me.
He doesn't need to cheat to gain popularity of the he was already liked. He was already popular. Like, he doesn't need to cheat to win.
Yes, he did have to cheat to win because he lost the 2020 election to Biden, and then he tried to cheat to steal it back. So he sent fake slates of electors to seven key swing states with fake votes that they then sent to Congress to install himself for a second term. It's
Biden got elected.
Plot.
When Biden got sorry to interrupt, but when basically when he got elected, if you look at the graphs of the election, god dang, I wish I remembered this date. But basically on the graph it shows at a certain time the votes going up by like 10,000, 15,000 in like the exact same time. You can see a linear line on the graph, which is like impossible because he can't place votes just to beat Trump by a little bit.
So you think that Trump won?
No, that's when Biden they rigged the election so he would win.
Okay, all right. Well, Alan, I would love to have a conversation with you about how insane your views are, but TikTok TOS, man. TikTok TOS. So surprisingly, you guys, denying the outcome of the election is against the TikTok terms of service. It's labeled as civil and electoral, like safety or something like that. And that gets their account banned. If their account gets banned, my account gets banned. I really wish I could have talked to him about it, because I love just dispelling the myths of that position. I think it's one of the worst positions known to mankind. And, the people that purport that view end up just getting embarrassed by me. But, today we're going to value the safety of the live over anything else. Jace, what is going on? How old are you? All right, Jace is not here, so we are going to move on to the next guest, everyone. I would like to reiterate, if the stream does get taken down, the first thing I'd recommend you do is go to the link tree in my bio and head over to the YouTube stream, and we'll be kind of directing people from the YouTube stream on where we're going to go next. Emmy, thank you so much for the 20 Australian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat, saying, love to get my morning dose of Dean schooling some folks with my coffee. What kind of coffee are you drinking? Thank you so much for the love, Emmy. What's going on, Mr. Rev J? Do you support Trump?
Hey, I'm 35 years old, and I know how Trump is going to run for a third time and win.
Sorry, Rev. We're only looking for some debates. I did check your bio there, and it said inclusive. So I'm going to go ahead and just have to assume that you don't support the president. We're going to go to move on. Guys, we are just looking for some conversations here. I feel like once we actually kind of get the ball rolling on some debates, like that last guy was the very first debate that we kind of had of the day, and even that was very iffy. Like, that guy was kind of nuts. Let me just get like a couple good conversations under my belt, and then I'll maybe open up the stream to more people. But right now, we are only looking for debates with Trump supporters. What's going on, Mr. Eric? Do you support Trump?
I'm a girl and I do. Yep.
Sorry,
vote for Trump.
I should probably stop calling people Mr. or Mrs. depending on what gender I think their name is.
You're good.
So, Eric, why do you support Trump?
Well, I
Oh,
voted
is your
for
name
Trump.
Erica?
It's Erica. I'm a chick.
Erica, why do
Yeah.
you support Trump? Sorry.
His values aligned more with mine when it came to Christianity, being pro-life. I do appreciate what he's doing with all the illegals. I see it firsthand in my town. We have an influx. Half of our population are illegal immigrants. We have a big increase of drunk driving. 95% of them are Hispanic, and we see a lot more theft and crime. We've seen a lot increases in our hospital bills because they don't pay hospital bills. No, it's not bull. It's 100% true, actually, for all those that are going at me in the comments. And so, yeah.
You saying that 95% of drunk drivers are Hispanic, therefore
in my town, I look at the police reports every week. 95%.
I'd appreciate it if you'd let me finish.
You weren't going. Go ahead.
I sure was speaking.
Okay, Dean. This is why people don't come on here, though, because there's 7,000 people ripping on you in the comments, and your goal is to make people look like an idiot.
Hey, Erica, I'm sorry you did that to yourself, right? You literally just said like what 80 to 90% of people who are drunk drivers are Hispanic. You have no evidence for that. Provide me a source.
You didn't let me finish. In my town.
Can I?
Oh, provide me a source for that.
My police records in town.
Hey.
Okay, I'll shoot you a message here when we're done.
Hey, Erica.
I'd love to see it.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you to bring it down a little bit. I feel like you're being very combative.
Oh, combative. Okay, I saw you the other day. People calling people names.
I know, and when I do that, I always try to check myself and bring myself down a little bit. I get it that these conversations can be high stress, and it's very easy for us to get angry and upset at one another. But I do genuinely want to tell you that I am focused on productive conversation.
Perfect.
But anyways, I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I actually have a question for you. You said that you're a Christian. You also said that you're pro-life. I really want to talk to you about your pro-life views.
Sure.
But I have a question for you first. So if Jesus came down to earth, it was his second coming, he was here to save us all. But in order to save Americans, he had to come to America. Okay. And he obviously wasn't coming in with legal means. He just kind of spawned in front of your house. Would you call him an illegal?
No, if he came in properly.
What if he didn't come in properly? He just came from the clouds, not through a legal port of entry. Would you say that we should deport Jesus?
Yep, I think Jesus has the authority to do about whatever he wants because he's Jesus.
So should we deport Jesus or not?
Should we compare Jesus to illegal immigrants?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, actually, yes. Also, let's call undocumented migrants undocumented migrants, but absolutely yes.
Okay, yeah.
So would you call Jesus an illegal?
But Jesus may come in and do what he wants. Yeah.
But would you call Jesus an illegal?
No.
Okay.
Because he's everywhere.
So
and he
then
can be everywhere.
maybe you shouldn't call other undocumented migrants an illegal.
Wait, is Jesus
they're
a citizen?
undocumented,
Wait,
they're
is Jesus a citizen of the United States or going through the immigration processes?
See, these are just dumb questions to get people.
No, they're not. No, these are legitimate questions.
I will say these
dumb.
questions are a little dumb, but they are still legitimate nonetheless.
But like, is that ever going to be true? Like, what purpose does that serve in a debate? Asking a question that's stupid.
I think that's a great question.
US?
I think that's a great question. The reason why these questions do serve a purpose is because they're conceptually relevant insofar as testing the logic in which underpins your beliefs. So the logic in which underpins your beliefs here, essentially, if somebody is in America without a legal status, they are therefore an illegal. And if Jesus was to spawn and come down from the clouds, well, he wouldn't be in America with a legal status in accordance with our country's law. Thereby, under your view, he would be an illegal. Now, you said that was like a dumb question. I agree with you. Kind of is. It's a little silly. but it's conceptually relevant nonetheless.
Okay. And yeah, I'm not here to argue my faith versus yours. I can't.
Yes, you
that's
are. You told us that you were
pointless.
pro-life. You think that every
And
single
that's why I
American woman
voted
and
for
girl
Trump.
should abide with your faith.
Yeah, that's why I voted for Trump.
Okay,
That's-
so let me
that's
ask
part
you a
of the
question. Do you
debate.
think that abortion should be illegal because you're a Christian and in accordance with Christian testimony, abortion is wrong?
Do I think it should be illegal?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
of
do.
your Christianity.
Yep.
Okay, great. So I want to ask you a question real quick. This is going to be great. Do you agree with the New Testament when it says all sins are equal in the eyes of God outside of blasphemy?
No, because there's different interpretations of the Bible, and I don't take every single thing that I read literal.
Okay, so you think that different sins have different wrongness?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, I mean, under that view, that critique wouldn't land. So I just want to ask you a very simple question here. Why is abortion wrong?
Because it's a living human being.
And killing living human beings is murder?
It is.
Okay, so when doctors intentionally pull the plug on brain dead patients in the hospital, terminating the life of living humans, that is murder?
See, this is a common thing that you hear all the time, but babies don't have a say in it. Yeah, sure, brain people don't have a say in it either. But you know what? I signed papers for that already. I already had a say in what's going to happen to me if I become brain dead.
Yeah.
Erica, not everyone has.
Unliving, well, that's your own choice, and that's
So
probably
I
stupid.
don't. So if I were to
Okay.
go and get in my car and go get some lunch and
Yeah.
I get T-boned and I'm brain dead, if my mother instructs my doctor to pull the plug on me, is that doctor a murder? And did my mother aid and abet in murder?
Nope. You know what? You either, if you decide not to fill out the paperwork, your choice, but then hope you have someone in your life who
Wait,
can
what
make that
about people
decision
who
for you.
live in what about people who live in countries where like they don't have that paperwork even as a thing?
Okay, well then people are using your best judgment, but to
Well, I'm asking you
compare
based upon like what your view, like what should happen in that circumstance. And I think that like obviously you wouldn't think that that's considered murder, right? Even though it's killing a cellular human life, because you value the sentience, like the subjective experiences, the past or present and future subjective experiences of human beings.
By the way, I also just want to tell everyone watching the live that we did get a flag for that guest who's denying the election. If we end up get taken down, which will likely happen. I mean, TikTok has kind of been rough recently. The first thing that I want the 8.7 thousand of you guys to do is to go to the link tree, which you could find in my bio, and then go over to my YouTube stream. And from the YouTube stream, we'll kind of redirect you guys to a new TikTok account. So just know that's what we'll be doing if the live gets taken down. Don't treat it as something that might happen. Treat it as something that will happen. TikTok has been banning us essentially every day. So it's going to happen. But anyways, go ahead, Erica.
And I also just want to say one thing to add on top of that because it's related. I'm banned on every single one of my accounts right now. My main account's on account ban warning everyone, meaning if I get banned one more time on it, it would be permanently banned. So I have no other accounts for like a few days. So I'm only on YouTube right now, everyone. That's it. Right now, you can find it in my link tree. That's the only place I am. Only place you'll actually find me other than this account. But like whenever I host on this account, it gets taken down in like 2 minutes, right? Without getting a ban. It just like ends the live. It's really weird.
But like there is progress being made, chat. So I actually had some friends of mine that are acting as representatives of myself meet in person with a representative from TikTok today. This is a new representative from TikTok that has been tasked with overlooking people inside of politics. And they had a long conversation, and I made a whole paper about all the issues I'm having, and they seemed receptive to hopefully figuring out some of the issues here.
Wait,
So-
I'm
That's
hopping
good to
off.
hear.
I have people.
Hopefully I can get some help with that. I would really appreciate that.
This is why people don't put them on here. I have people that are listing my employer, hate comments. I mean, this is really not the point of a live, is to have 8,000 people bashing you. It's like
Well,
typical
it's actually
fake Christian,
closer-
this and that.
It's actually
like,
closer to 9,000. But before you
okay,
hop
I
off,
don't really care, but
I'm sorry.
thanks for your time.
Well, real quick. Okay, she just left. I was gonna.
Dean,
ask
that
you a
was
question.
diabolical. Actually, it's close to like 9,000. Well, actually, Dean, you're wrong. And there's another like 1,800 in my live, and there's probably like another 1,500 on your live on YouTube.
Sorry. By the way, guys, don't be like doxing people for coming up here just saying that they're like, like they voted for Trump. Don't do that, you guys. Come on. I didn't see anybody do it though, so I think she could have just been capping. We are gonna move on to the next guest. What's going on, Camden? Do you support Trump? And Camden dropped super duper quickly. I would like to reiterate, if you'd like to support me, support the stream, you could find the Venmo and the PayPal link in the link tree in the bio, as well as in the pinned message over on the YouTube stream. And at this point, we're going to get that next guest up in the live, y'all. We are just looking for that next debater to come up and join us. Hey, Ashlyn, thank you for the $5 on Venmo saying it's actually closer to 9,000. Thank you for the love, Ashlyn. That's right. We got to stay.
It's over 9,000. Sorry, I need to stop.
we got to stay acquainted with reality, folks. Quite frankly, that's the truth. So we're going to get that next guest up here, everyone. If you do want to come up and have a debate, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that comment section. We'll get you up here. Also, I'd just like to thank like the 8.8 thousand of you guys for just like finding all the random accounts I go live on. Like I haven't used this at
That's real.
Get a Grip account for like 4 months, and like the second day in, we're already able to get up to like 9,000 people in here at once. So shout out to all y'all. Make sure you're dropping a follow if you haven't already, just because I have like a billion accounts and it's likely that you're not even following this one. What's going on, Promise? Do you support Trump?
Huh? What you hungry for?
Promise, we're going to give you 5 seconds here. It doesn't look like Promise is here, so we're going to move on, y'all. We are just looking for that next debate, y'all. It's crazy how we have, close to 9,000 people in the TikTok live stream, but not one person that is willing to come up here and have a debate. Hey, would you like to talk to like an absolutely insane guest? And,
Sure.
And I don't mean like insane in like the crazy sense. I mean like insane, and this guy argues that that syllogisms are circular and that logic doesn't matter.
No.
Okay, all right. We're gonna move on to the next guest then. Well, let's go and get him out of here. Save some of that heartache, brain ache. So we're gonna get that next guest, y'all. We are just trying to find the next guest. Hey, what is going on, Mad? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Mad,
What's up, man?
you do. All right. What's going on, dude? Hey, thank you for the $5 donation over on Venmo. Shout out to O. All right, take it away. Tell us why you support Trump, the worst president of your lifetime.
Well, I think that he mostly kind of like aligns with what my beliefs are, like the last chick said.
Like what?
Like what belief specifically?
Like religion and
Donald Trump is a terrible Christian.
Also, Kamala Harris is also Christian.
Significantly better Christian than him. I mean, like, hey, this guy said in 2018 that he's never had to ask God for forgiveness a day in his life. He sold a Bible attached to the Constitution for over $100. He was like smoke bombing, people that were protesting him so he could take a photo shoot in front of a church.
Well, I'm not
to
saying
mention
that
he's an
he's
adjudicated
just the
rapist and he
best.
wants to redistribute wealth from the poor to the rich. Sir, he's like nearly
I'm
committed
not saying
like
that
every
he's the
sin
best
in the Bible.
Christian. I'm not saying that he's the best Christian, but the fact that he actively like displays it.
I'm so
talks
sorry,
about
sir.
it,
Isn't this
but-
what the Antichrist does? Like false preachers? I'm pretty sure that in the eyes of the gospel, in the eyes of Jesus, if Christianity were to be true, this is almost worse than just claiming you're not a Christian, point blank, period.
No, the Antichrist
what
is meant to be loved by everyone.
What is the verse, the section of the gospel where Jesus talks about if you claim to be one of his own sheep and you still transgress upon his law, that essentially upsets him significantly more than if you just simply don't claim to be a Christian at all?
But no, the Antichrist is meant to be loved by everybody. So since he has so many haters, can't be.
Well, I think the more so the sentiment that I'm
Well-
getting at here is like seemingly people that claim to be Christian that don't abide by the Testament are loathed by Jesus.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
People that claim to be Christian that don't abide by the Testament are loathed by Jesus.
Well, not everybody's like a perfect Christian, but I mean, we all have to try, right?
So
Try our
why the
best.
hell did you vote for him? Because of your Christian values. I mean, it's not like he's passing
Well, that's
pro-Christian
part.
policy.
That's just a small part of it, like the abortion thing too, and T-shirts and sports.
Okay, well,
I know you can't talk about that, so I won't. But
okay, so about like abortion, you think that abortion should be illegal?
so I have a mixed opinion on that because I don't think my personal opinion is that it should be legal per se, but I mean, we do live in America where we should have the liberty to do whatever we want.
So which one is it? Should it be legal or illegal? Should we have the liberty to do whatever we want, or should we let your preference,
Freedom.
or should
So
we
as
let
far
your
as
preferences and
far
faith
as
dictate what women and girls can and can't do with their bodies?
as
Which one
as
is it?
far as legally speaking, I do not think that it's, or I think it's okay that it's legal, but do I agree with it? No, not at all.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. Like, I'm pretty sure that this belief aligns more with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
Yes, it
because
does.
Kamala Harris is a Baptist. She likely thinks that abortion is wrong for the same reasons you do, but she advocated for federal protections for every single American
But
woman.
I'm saying that
So they can make that
my
decision for
personal-
themselves. But then Donald Trump, on the other hand, I mean, he turned it over to the states so they could ban it, which has led 60 great victims per day being denied access to abortion, and 66 million American women and girls left without the ability to make that decision for themselves because their Republican congressmen and women took that liberty
Okay, but
away
that
from them.
aligns with what I believe in.
You just told us that that is antithetical to what you believe in. You told us what you believe in
No,
is that
no,
it's
no.
wrong, but we
You're-
should still have individual liberties and the ability to make that decision for oneself. In fact,
I
this
think-
contradicts what you believe in if what you just told us you believed in was true.
So, first of all, I believe that everybody has to answer to God at some point.
That's neither here
And-
nor there in this discussion, sir.
If I think that, yes, it is, because I'm saying that, like, okay, at the end of the day, if you make that decision to have an abortion, you one day will have to answer for what you decided
that's
to do.
neither here nor there in this discussion. I asked you what you believed in. You told me that you think that it's personally wrong, but it still should be legal so other individuals can make that decision for themselves. And then I explain how this is closer to the view of Harris compared to the view of Trump. And now you're just kind of going back into the whole religious answer to God thing. That's neither here nor there. So respond
Well, I
directly
was
to what
just
I'm
making a
saying.
comment
The
about
candidate
it.
who upheld the position that liberty should be in the hands of the women and the girls, they should be able to make that decision for themselves, even though they may think it's wrong. That was Kamala Harris. Donald Trump's position is that liberty should be outside of the hands of women and girls, including victims of rape. So what this tells us is that in accordance with your values, Kamala Harris had more preferable policy on abortion compared to Trump.
Not preferable in my opinion.
So then
though.
you don't think it should be legal, right? You think it should be illegal.
I
You
don't
think it should
no.
be criminal to
Okay,
get an
then
abortion.
yes. To clarify, yeah, I think it should be illegal. Then
Right.
yes.
Okay, why?
However, based on
No,
laws,
I don't want to. However, I want you to tell us why.
well, it's like I don't think that people should drink alcohol, but I mean, we live in a country where you should have liberty to do whatever you want.
These two things contradict one another. You're saying that abortion should be illegal and women should not have access because you should have liberty to do whatever you want. That's incoherent
No,
garbage. Sorry, sir,
it's not-
that is incoherent garbage. You're saying yes, but no,
It's
but
not
yes, but no.
contradicting because I'm an individual who has an opinion on something.
You're saying that women shouldn't have the liberty to get an abortion because they should have the liberty to do whatever they want. That's gibberish.
Matt, what you're saying is that you disagree with women getting abortions, but you think that they should be allowed to do it.
Yes, that's
Okay.
that's a good
So
way.
then
to-
you're saying it should be legal, but it's morally wrong.
Am
that's
I
the
going
same
crazy?
position that's the same position
Yes.
that's the same position that Kamala Harris has. That she thinks it's morally wrong, but she thinks it
But the
should
fact
be
that
legal.
I said
Donald
that I
Trump,
think
Donald
it's
Trump
morally
thinks
wrong.
Donald Trump thinks it's morally wrong, but thinks it should be left up to the states, meaning that in certain states,
Toasty, thank you for the
women's
toasty.
access to abortion will be restricted, even if they've been sexually assaulted.
Wait, am I
So
going
do you not-
crazy? Wait, I'm so sorry.
Do you not see how that more aligns with what I'm saying?
Full stop. Am I going insane? I described this to you twice. So I'm going to describe it for a fourth time. Okay? You think abortion wrong, but you think it should be legal, right?
So no, like
What?
It's-
You
it's
just
hard for me
affirmed
to
that's how you
explain what I'm-
feel. You literally just told
No.
Parker that's how you feel.
Dude, this guy
no,
doesn't
I
even know
don't
where
think
he is.
I don't think it's morally right for people to be allowed to have an abortion.
Oh,
But
okay,
I don't
so
make the laws.
okay.
So if I can elect somebody who I believe to make the laws that I believe in,
do you think that abortion should be legal or should abortion be illegal? I want you to clarify. I'm going to write down your belief. Which one is it? Legal or illegal?
I think that it should be illegal.
Abortion should be illegal dash
Fair.
mad av IMI. Okay, I got that written
Like
down.
like
You
people
can't-
should not be able to get access to it, right?
Yeah, I got that written down. You can't take it back now. That's your belief. Okay?
Okay.
So now watch this. Why should abortion be illegal?
Why should it be illegal? You're asking me why it should be illegal?
Yes.
Because it's morally wrong.
Okay, and why is it morally wrong?
Because it's a living being that shouldn't be aborted.
Okay, so you're saying it's morally wrong because it's morally wrong. That's circular logic, sir. I can merely argue that it's not morally wrong because it's not morally wrong.
I'm saying that I think that it's morally wrong, so it shouldn't happen.
So why is it morally
Those
wrong?
Yeah, should it be
those
legal though?
fetuses should have a chance to life.
He said
Like,
it should
but
be illegal.
but do you think that like women should have the choice on whether or not they get access to abortion
He
legally?
doesn't.
No,
He
not
doesn't. 'Cause
no,
remember, we
no,
clarified that he
No
thinks it
choice.
should be
Okay,
illegal.
I just wanted to clarify again. So
no.
again, you said because they're living. Do you think it's murder for me to pull the plug on an individual in my family that's brain dead?
No.
No. Okay, but they're cellularly alive. There's human cellular
Okay.
life there.
But they don't have. If they're brain dead, they don't have potential for future
Like subjective experience.
sentience anymore.
Okay, so what do you consider valuable, life or future subjective experience?
Future subjective experience, I suppose.
So any set of occurrences that has a future subjective experience, you would consider valuable?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in the context of someone engaging in intercourse, right, with their
Mhm.
significant other, there's a high likelihood that there's going to be a subjective experience. Do you consider that valuable? Or
I'm
do you think
sorry.
it
Can
would
you
be-
say that again?
Do you think it would be wrong for someone to to pull out, given that it would reduce the likelihood of there being a subjective experience in the future?
Yeah, but that it hasn't begun yet, though. So there isn't a potential for it yet.
So once subjective experience begins, then it's important, or then it's valuable?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so then you have the same position as Dean and I, and then you don't think it should be wrong to get access to an abortion, right, in the first trimester?
No, because I don't think
until 20
for
weeks.
convenience. For convenience, I think that's wrong.
Dude,
An
this
abortion
guy,
for convenience.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go insane.
Okay, so now, I mean, now you've shifted to another argument because now you're telling us that the reason an abortion is wrong is because of like mental states of the woman who's getting an abortion. So, I mean, all that you're
Mental
telling
states?
us, yeah, you're saying that, oh, she's doing it for like quote unquote convenience. Well, like the reason that you're describing has nothing to do with like the intrinsic value of the fetus and all to do with your perceptions of the responsibility or lack thereof of the woman getting the
They
abortion.
go hand in hand.
So
they go
don't-
hand in hand.
If they went hand in hand, then you would be able to respond to Parker's argument, but you completely shifted and changed your argument to no longer being about the value in a fetus, and now it's all about the fact that it's inconvenient to the woman. You told us
It's
that the
about
fetus
both.
only becomes morally valuable when it has the ability to deploy consciousness. Well, that only occurs at about 20 gestational weeks. So under your own view, fetuses don't have value before then.
What do you mean? As soon as I believe that at the point where a fertilized egg goes down the fallopian tube and enters into the uterus and is implanted, that is the point in which
Oh.
there shouldn't be any return.
So implantation is where you consider it to be valuable?
Correct.
Is it not
What
an
is the
innocent
difference
human
in-
life with a potential for future sentience before implantation, but after
Well, because there's a
conception?
there's possibility that before that point it won't make it.
Okay, well, is it
Wait,
possible
so
for a
point 1
zygote
second.
after implantation to not make it?
Say that again. Both
Is
of
it-
you talked at the same time.
Is it possible for a zygote after the moment of implantation to never see the light of day?
It's possible, but it's on the point. It's at the point where it's beginning to grow.
Wait, so it doesn't. Wait, what do you mean beginning to grow? I
So
mean,
he
cellular
considers the
reproduction.
growth to be valuable.
So
He doesn't
cellular
consider the life.
cellular reproduction starts the moment of conception, even before implantation. You could observe cellular reproduction outside of implantation under like the microscope of an IVF practitioner. There's seriously videos online of sperm being
Okay.
implanted into an egg and then cellular reproduction begins. So under your view, you would value it from the moment of conception.
Okay.
And then are women murderers if they have IUDs?
I don't even want to run this.
No.
I'm like very close to kicking this
That's-
guy because he's just absolutely incoherent.
That's not it.
Okay, man, do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us? Like, I'm not even like trying to be mean to you, but I just don't feel like you're giving us a coherent position.
Well, you can sit here and call my position incoherent, but I see you on the live every day. I watch you all the time. I actually appreciate watching your guys' lives. But all you do is cry about you can't get debates, and then you just want to kick me after we're having a discussion about something. So
Well, honestly, like my thoughts are, man, is like I know that I'm not like portraying it to you. However, like internally, like I get like very like angry, upset, and annoyed, and like my cortisol levels definitely go up a little bit when I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're flip-flopping their position every single word they say for like 10 minutes straight. It like just seriously like damages my soul. Now, like I think that I have an ability to kind of control that and demonstrate like a certain level of patience. But like at this point, it's not only just making me very impatient and making me upset, but I just think that the lack of a position, because you don't really have one and you keep changing it every 5 seconds, is like probably bad for the productivity of the live.
Well, it's hard for me to explain my positioning because I'm gonna be honest, it probably does sound incoherent and very imbalanced on where I stand, but I simply I on this particular topic, I am pro-life. So I believe that abortion should not be happening. And if I can vote for a representative
Do you think
that
that great victims should be able to have access to abortion?
So I have another opinion on that. So I don't believe that there should be abortions, period. However, I think there's another approach that can be taken to
So you
grape
don't so you don't think that
victims.
great victims should be able to access abortion? Could I tell you why they should, even if you're pro-life?
On my libertarian side of thinking, then yes, I do in those particular situations.
These are the contradictions I'm talking about that is making this conversation unproductive. I asked you if you think that that great victims should be able to access abortion, and you respond by saying that you don't think that anybody should be able to get abortions, period. But there's other things that great victims could do. But then you clarify by saying
No, no,
yes,
no,
great
not
victims should be able to
great
get
victims
abortion and make
themselves.
exceptions. What? See, like this is
No, no, no.
this is the incoherence I'm referencing. This doesn't make
No,
any sense.
I think that there should be stricter punishments on rapists in order to reduce that scenario
But I just
ever
want to
even
clarify,
happening.
you don't think that great victims should be able to access abortion, right?
I think that it should, like, preferably in my heart, what I believe in is that they shouldn't have an abortion. However, like I said, the libertarian in me believes that
sir, should great victims be able to access abortion? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You just said that there
Yes.
shouldn't be any abortion point being cleared. At this point, I am going to kick you. Have a good rest of your day. We are going to move on to the next guest because that is just a completely incoherent, garbled, like nonsensical like view. He says yes, then no, then yes again, but then no 3 times, but then yes one last time. It's just complete gibberish. Honestly,
It is complete gibberish.
What's going on?
If you want,
go ahead.
Everyone, do make sure to tap the screen. Let's get to 1 million likes as well. If you want to support Dean or I, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio or in the description of our YouTubes. Plus, you can support us with our YouTube Super Chat. But Scooter, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Scooter left.
They left.
We're going to get the next guest up here while we do, you guys, real quick. Sam, thank you for the £20 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you for the love, Mr. Sam. Everyone, please show some love to Sam down below in that comment section. Then Sandy with the $20 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Sandy. Everybody, please show some love to Sandy down below, as well as show some love to Presley for the 10. And oh my God, Christian with the $50 over on PayPal. I want to see 500 W's for Christian. Christian says, hello, my favorite human. Thanks for lifting my spirits. Dude, W, Christian, I love you so much. Thank you for the $50. That is so incredibly kind of you, man. And what is up, Mr. Andy? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do, sir. How are you?
You know, I'm doing mighty fine. So why do you support the president?
I support him, and
real quick,
I just
are you
want to
driving?
say...
I apologize for interrupting you. Are you driving, Andy?
No, I'm in the car, though.
All right, God.
But I will say that how does it feel that you two have had a very large role in the reason that Trump is in office, from taking away from the male vote of being just insufferable?
Well, I don't think that you have any evidence to justify said hypothesis. I think it's simply a cope and...
You left?
They always do that. Every time. They always do that. See, these alpha males that want to come up here and talk shit, they literally run away before they could even get what they think out of their own mouth, and it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, like, does he think that was, like, sufferable?
like
does he not realize that was insufferable? Like,
they always do that, dude. Like these high value males don't have like a thought between their eyes, and they like are so scared of the repercussions of their shit talking that they make sure to go run to mommy before they could even get it out. What's going on, Mr. K? Keenan, I believe.
Hey, how's it going?
Do you support Trump?
I'm actually from Canada.
Okay. Bye, man.
I
I do
wanted to
appreciate you
talk
for joining up.
about-
We are just looking to debate individuals from America that support the president. So we're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go. And Sid, thank you for the $50 super chat over on that YouTube stream. Thank you for the love, Sid. Everybody, please show some love to Sid down below. Sid says, hi, Dean. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you as well, Sid. Thank you so much. What is going on, Bargain Bin Chris Pratt?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going phenomenal. Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
Why is that?
Personally, a massive reason for me was I was kind of on the fence for a large portion of my life, kind of in the middle. But from 2020 to 2024, I was actually living in New York City, and I just kind of watched this city that I had kind of grown to love just kind of crumbling like before my eyes, and a lot of it revolving around the policies of the party that was in office at that time.
Okay, so can you tell me what the Biden-Harris administration did in terms of policy that you disagree with?
I'll say a large portion of it was just a lack of concentrating on the border crisis. And then, I've got my own religious and moral reasons for voting more conservative as well, but the immigration was one thing that
are you saying that they should have passed a bill that would have limited the amount of encounters at the border, maybe built more of the wall, and made the asylum process go faster by hiring a lot more immigration judges to process the claims a lot faster?
Yeah, all of that would have been great. I know that there was a lot that happened in Congress at that time where they were kind of just shutting down bills, and that's a lot of the, just Republicans versus Democrats, that shit happened. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can say that on here, but that stuff happens all the time. What's up?
Want to hear my radical opinion?
Oh, what's up?
Kamala Harris was infinitely better than Donald Trump for immigration. The reason why I say that is because Donald Trump has no policy that serves as long-term means to reduce undocumented entry into America, and he hasn't even done as much as spoken about a way to do that since 2015. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris at least ran on a step in the right direction of funding more to courts on the border to expedite legal claims of asylum, when it is the fact that legal claims of asylum, residency, and citizenship being so slow and expensive is what causes undocumented entry in the first place. Not to mention the flip side of the coin of what to do with the undocumented migrants that are already in our country. A mass deportation not only hurts the migrants, not to mention Donald Trump is stripping their due process away from them, but on top of that, it hurts us. It cripples our labor force. It reduces GDP growth, takes $100 billion per year away from our government because that's the taxes that undocumented migrants pay. I just feel like any way that we evaluate the issue, Donald Trump kind of sucks on immigration. Terrible.
I've heard a lot of those points that you brought up before. I will be honest, just straight out the gate, I know that you've got a lot more statistical knowledge and stuff than I do. Just because you're going to be a lot more well versed in talking about stats than I will be. I know you do a lot more research than I do, which is why I like having conversations like this. But a big piece of it was just the amount of immigrants that were crossing the border. I know that the numbers have dropped dramatically. So I was just curious on how you can say that Kamala was better for lowering immigration than Trump is when, Trump's office is finally taken over. He's appointed new officials.
Can you name one long-term border solution that Donald Trump has ever offered?
Well, we're looking at it right now.
So what is it? What is it? Tell me specifically what policy he's either already implemented or wants to implement to reduce undocumented entry into America in the long term.
Like I said, man, I'm not honestly well versed enough to bring up specific.
So the answer it's not even the fact that you're not well versed enough. It's just that it doesn't exist. So we have seen major drops under the Trump administration. And that's because he's a very theatrical man that has deployed the military to the southern border, illegally infringed upon asylum means of entry into America, and is deporting legal residents to El Salvador. And I mean, all these things like either scare individuals away from entry or prevent it. And I find that to be nothing more than a band-aid on a 4-inch incision. Just a very temporary way of preventing entry, but not really addressing the root cause of the problem. The root cause of undocumented entry is slow, neglected, depraved legal means of entry. And not only has Donald Trump never provided anything to the American people to expedite the legal means of entry, but he's actively fought against solutions such as a bipartisan border bill. And what this tells me is that he actually wants the issue to continue, so he could continue to quote unquote fix it with the band-aids on the 4-inch cuts like deploying the military, and so he could continue to radicalize his base around hating, alienating, and dehumanizing undocumented migrants to scare more people into supporting him. But unless you can name a single long-term solution that the Mr. Immigration God has ever proposed since 2015, I think that my standpoint is evidently clear and abundantly proven.
What was so? What exactly is Kamala's plan then for securing the border? Like, do you believe that the border should be secured and that people should just be entering the country legally, or do you believe that it should just kind of be an open thing where anybody's allowed to really come over?
I think that we should only have legal entry into America, but the only way to get there is to make as many legal ports of entry into America available to as many people as possible, while only screening individuals for prior violent offenses. And I mean, a step in that direction is to make the legal means that we currently have faster, which is what Kamala Harris ran on, compared to the lack thereof of policy that Donald Trump has ever ran on to try to fix that same issue.
What are some of the reasons why you would want there to be regulations on immigration in the first place?
Well, a massive piece of it was crime and just the rate of homelessness that rises when you do have a lot of people coming into the country who
poverty goes up with mass deportation.
Yeah. Also, in terms of crime, undocumented immigrants are multiple times as likely to commit violent crime, drug crime, and property crime in the United States, along with the fact that you voted for a criminal, right, who released criminals into the country who violently assaulted police officers on January 6th, and he did so intentionally.
Well, he didn't do any of that. You can say that he incited it, but he didn't do any of that.
No, he released them.
Donald Trump is referring to... Sorry, Donald Trump, Donald
Wow,
Parker.
Dude, Dean, I can't even believe
it's because your name is Donald. It's because your name is Donald.
Freudian slip.
it's because your name is Donald. Just screen name. But anyways, so Parker is saying that like Donald Trump, intentionally pardoned violent offenders like DJ Rodriguez that pled guilty to beating up cops and driving stun guns into their necks. But hey, man, if you
I disagree with his his full pardoning of everybody on January 6th. I didn't agree with that.
If you care about crime, though, you probably shouldn't put the 34-count felon rapist into the Oval Office that is most notoriously known for trying to coup the American civil and electoral processes when he tried to rig and steal the election for Biden in 2020, not to mention him rug pulling his own supporters with his crypto coin, redistributing wealth from the poor to the rich, which will lead to more poverty. And of course, more poverty leads to even more violent crime, on top of defrauding charities and cheating on 3 of his wives and hitting on a 10-year-old girl and being best buddies with Diddy and Epstein. Guys, the only gang that you need to worry about is the one running our government.
Also, you said, you brought up homelessness. Name one Trump or Republican policy that reduced homelessness.
Ah, man. See, like I said, I can't. I'll be honest with you, man. I do have to run. I need to do more research, honestly, before I come on here, just because I can't defend myself well enough. But I appreciate you guys letting people come on here and voice their personal opinions and debate with people. I'll try and catch you guys another time when I am a little bit more well versed. Maybe a little excited to get on here this first time around.
Okay, well, I hope you have a good rest of your day, Mr. Bargain Bin Chris Pratt. Have a good one, sir.
No, yeah, y'all take care.
All right, we're going to move on to the next guest. Here we are. If you're in that queue, make sure that you support the president. If you're MAGA, let us know in that chat right now, and we'll get you up. Quite frankly, we're just looking for the next guest of the day. Quite frankly, that is the truth. So hang with us while we're getting them up here. And Zamir, thank you for the £2 over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. What's going on, Papa? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
23.
You should change your name from Papa to Child. You sound.
I'm not a child. On my life, bro. On my life, please.
What year are you born in?
2007.
Dude.
You say you were 23 in 2007? Wow, that math is really good.
Come on.
Wow, dude, that's some MAGA math right there. MAGA math.
Can't make that shit up, dude. Come on, guys. Come on, yo. Let's do better than that. Let's be real, quite frankly. All right, guys. If you're one of the 7.8 thousand people in the stream, what I'm gonna need y'all to do is to start double tapping away on that phone screen and sharing out that live. We have an army of people in here. We're gonna be at 2 million likes in no time, 2,000 shares in no time. Do keep in mind that it's not a win, but sorry, it's not an if, but when this TikTok stream gets taken down, head over to the YouTube link in bio, and we'll be going over to It Might Be Dean. TikTok has been taking us down every day, so I bet this live will get taken down on top of that. Then one last thing, if you'd like to support me, support the stream, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio. Nobody touches any of that apart from the tax man, and it is the best way to support me. Anyways, what is going on average? Do you support Trump? Get out of here, quite frankly. All right, here we go. Moving on to Sean.
Everyone on the YouTube streams, do make sure to like the stream, as well as everyone on the live. If you want to support us, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, links in the bios. Plus, you can support us over YouTube Super Chat. Make sure to follow our accounts. I'm banned on every single one of my accounts. Only place I'm on right now is YouTube. That's it. Everything else is banned.
I wish that guy didn't leave. I wanted to talk to him about his C7. What's going on, Lex? Do you support Trump? Lex, we're going to give you around 5 seconds to talk. And Lex is not here, quite frankly. Moving on, here we are.
That was not 5 seconds.
Well, it was in my mind. All right, we are moving fast today. We're moving fast today.
That was definitely not 5 seconds, shit.
Well, I was about to make a terrible joke. Don't even worry about it. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. We got Thomas loading up in the box. Here we go, everyone. Just go ahead and just give us a moment. Still looking for the next guest. You know what? Hey, listen, if you support the president and you're not scared to come up here and have a conversation, go ahead and just drop a MAGA in the chat. I don't know why we see it, but we do. Thousands and thousands of people tune into these conversations. A lot of them disagreeing with us politically. That's abundantly clear from the comment section. But no one wants to come up here and have a debate. That's shocking to me. It truly is shocking. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go. All right. Guys, what is going on, Toko? Do you support Trump?
Oh, shit. Sorry.
No worries. Look at that. What's up, Savannah? Do you support Trump? That is the best mic I've ever heard.
What is going on, dude?
Savannah's from another galaxy, quite frankly. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next guest. She came down to Earth to inform us of the future. What's up, Rebel? Do you support Trump?
Hey, yes, I do. I'm also an immigrant, but I've been living in the U.S. for about 9 years. I have the right to vote, and I voted for Trump.
Nice. Brandon, do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to go and do a little bit of a 2v2 action. So, Mr. Rebel and Brandon, go ahead and tell us why you support the president.
Yeah, sure. Would you like me to go first, Brandon?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, awesome. Hey, so I'd like to start by saying a couple of things. One thing is I am an immigrant. I'm originally from New Zealand. I moved to the U.S. about 8 years ago. I currently have the right to vote. Second of all, I voted for Trump for only one reason. My family is worth a lot of money, single-digit billions. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, and that's the only reason. We stand to make a lot of money and benefit from Trump in office.
Hey, I have a question. If you made even more money by the reinstitution of slavery in America, would you still vote for him if it meant the reinstitution of slavery in America?
Probably not. That would probably be a red line for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, the thing is I thought that, sending America into a constitutional crisis, starting a trade war with the rest of the planet, advocating for Trump Gaza, and taking human rights away from 66 million American women and girls would be enough.
Along with the fact that he was held civilly liable of sexually abusing women, released violent criminals in the country, undermined our democracy, our rule of law, our constitution, core American values that this country's been, prides ourselves on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not American. So,
okay.
And then just like one other thing, like rich people, insofar as like billionaire with a B, like I don't know if you're lying or telling the truth, but like you don't stand to lose anything by higher taxes.
Correct. Yes.
You don't I mean, you lose numbers on a bank account, maybe, and that's
Correct.
it.
Means nothing.
You know what I mean? Like literally means nothing.
I think they're trolling. I think
Correct.
We're gonna go to move on to the next guest. What is going on, Brandon? Do you support Trump? Oh wait, you already do. Tell us why.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I get nervous on these platforms, man. So I don't even know where to start.
Me neither.
All right, I got you.
All right.
Would you vote for someone who said that they would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years?
No, wait.
As a 50-year-old man? No.
Wait,
Okay, well,
what?
you wouldn't do that? You wouldn't
Dang,
support it?
dude. No, bro.
Okay, well, Donald Trump did that. Like, it's on audio recording.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Did you know that Donald Trump is currently ignoring a Supreme Court order? Did you know that? So the entirety of the Supreme Court 9-0 ruled that the Trump administration had to go get this innocent resident from Maryland out of the El Salvadorian jail.
Oh, I heard about that. No, I think you're confused. It was the other way around. It's 9-0 that they can't go get him.
No, wrong.
Oh man, now we got to pull up fact checks. I don't even know why I joined. It's too stressful in here. I like listening to you guys though.
Why is this so stressful?
I don't know. There's a lot of people. Stage fright.
Think the 5 pounds. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's actually the case that they ruled against him, and he's
I
defined.
thought it was. I heard on the freaking Tiki Talks today that it was the other way around.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I
did. Oh, I heard that. I heard that from your boy Charlie Kirk.
Okay, well.
Wait, was it Charlie? It might have been somebody else.
I feel like you're trolling at this point. There's no way.
Hey, Jordan, do you support Trump?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, sell your cat.
Yeah.
Give your cat to me.
Hell no.
You can't support Trump and expect yourself to be a good cat owner.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He looks like an Oompa Loompa. I mean, of course I'm gonna support him.
We're only getting trolls right now, Dean. It's actually so brutal.
Yeah. Hey, on a real note, isn't it hilarious that nobody that actually supports the president that is from America that voted for him is like here and wants to come up and have a conversation with us? Hey, man,
in a room with 8,000 people.
I just want to preface how many people 8,000 people is. Okay, that's like a small stadium, you guys. All right, that's a small stadium, and out of this small stadium, there's not like one person that's like, oh yeah, no, I'm an American. I think the president of our country is doing a pretty good job. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy?
It's diabolical, I tell you.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, listen, suffering from success. RB, what's up? Do you support Trump?
No, but
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, dude,
Everyone on the YouTube streams, make sure to like the stream. Help send it out to more people. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get up to 1,500 likes, everyone. 1,500.
Do you want to help me load a guest up?
I don't have any rules.
I could get that to you. As soon as we get our next guest up, I could get that to you. Hey, guys, if once again, guys, you know what? If you're MAGA, just let us know in the comment section. It'd be very kind. There you go. There's moderation power. You can now add and delete people. You know,
Alrighty.
For whatever reason, this is just proving very difficult. A lot of stage fright in the Trump supporters today. All right, what's up, Alex? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
All right. Hello, Dallas. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
All right. So, Alex, why do you support Trump? And Alex is gone. Dallas, you're the last one standing. Dallas, go ahead and tell us all why you support the worst president of your lifetime, Donald J. Trump. Take it away.
So I actually wanted to add on because you guys were talking about, I think his name was Kilmar, the last guy on there. Trump said, I think it was yesterday, that he was a part of the MS-13 gang.
Yeah, and I think I've heard Donald Trump say that. I think I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say that as well. So there's two things here. I don't know if there's any evidence that exists to suggest that. Like for instance, I mean, I have sources from News Nations, Time Magazine, and Lawfare that all indicate that he is not and has never been a gang member, and that claim is merely an allegation that is completely baseless. I mean, how about this? How about I ask you, what is the evidence that he's a part of MS-13?
Actually, here's a real question. Why is Trump associating him to be an MS-13 gang member when there's no good evidence indicating that?
I think I read that he was arrested being accused of that because he was wearing a Chicago Bulls hat.
So I just want to get this one straight. So he has no criminal record. He denies the allegation, and he has been granted no due process, and it is merely an accusation. Okay. So what we see here is very violent, dangerous rhetoric and actions where you are now supporting our president, blatantly accusing residents of being gang members and then deporting them to a jail cell with some of the worst living conditions
They're
on
totally
this planet
trolling.
without evidence. And I think that is insane.
I'm not MAGA, guys. I repost you guys all the time. I
thought so. But Kai said thank you to some people here real quick. That was actually nuts. That's actually nuts. Nancy, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you both for the incredible work you do. Your clarity, courage, and dedication to progressive politics are deeply inspiring. You've made a real difference, and I'm so grateful for your voices. Thank you so much, Nancy. That's incredibly fucking kind of you. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much, Nancy. As well as Sid with the $50. I'm glad you got your Venmo back. That's crazy. That's crazy. Impersonating yourself is actually diabolical. People are telling me to drop diabolical merch. I might have to do it. And then Tyler with the $25 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Tyler. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So Caroline Levitt, the press sec, said that he is in prison for a crime another immigrant committed. Nice. So apparently that's coming straight from the press sec. Angelica, thank you for the $15 on Venmo as well. Thank you so much, Angelica. What's up, T-Bish and Rosie Girl? Do you guys support the president?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how old are you?
I am 19.
Really? What year were you born in?
2005.
Nice. Do you have a driver's license?
I do not.
What month?
April. My birthday was the 12th.
Okay, fine. T-Bish, do you support
Wait,
Trump?
no. She's wrong. She'd be 20.
If you were born in April?
2005, April 12th.
Did she say
it already
April
happened.
12th?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have already happened. T-Bish, do you support Trump? All right, bro. I'm getting pissed. Like, there's no debates. Like, this is unreal. Like, 8,000 people in the live, not one person that wants to come up and debate. It's actually kind of getting to me.
Ray, thank you for the $5.
I'm kind of getting, like, really fucking annoyed.
I can help.
Unreal. Yo, Annie, thank you for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love. What brain rot troll server are these fools coming from? Dude, it's just all trolls. Unreal. Thank you for the love, Annie. That is incredibly kind of you. What's up, Tina? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born in?
I was born 2006.
Great. Tell us why you support Trump.
So, I don't necessarily lean left or right, but I do have a question for you.
If you support President Trump, you definitely lean right.
Well, okay, so I do have a question, and I was wondering what are some of your... Because I'm not very informed. I'm going to be very honest. And I think that there's been a lot of controversy towards like tariffs and...
Dude, she graduates from high school in 3 years. You're not 18. Will, what's up? Do you support Trump?
That's diabolical.
Well,
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I have a few questions first.
Okay, what are they?
My first one is, do you guys think there has been less crime since Trump has been elected president?
I don't know.
I don't know.
have access to relevant stats, nor do I think that they'd probably be publicly available.
Yeah. Also, how would that relate to Trump? You think Trump is like the police department in like a bunch of different places, like stopping crime or something?
No.
Okay, then what was your point?
I'm just saying, I think open borders got out of control. Now, about that guy who got accused of the
Open borders?
MS-13
Wait,
thing,
wait, hold on. What's open borders?
I don't agree with him getting sent back. I think that's not something I didn't know I was voting for about Trump.
So do you
I
regret
thought
your vote?
that... Sorry, what was that?
Do you regret your vote?
I'm starting to, honestly, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about it.
Okay. So I think an important part we could talk about is maybe like why you think that there was an open border.
It could have been news that I was getting manipulated on. I spent a lot of time on TikTok and X, which I regret, and a lot of the things were, hey, on the news we saw like that woman getting lit on fire or this and that, and these crimes getting committed, and I think I just kind of took it too far and took it too serious. And I don't know. I feared for
So you don't
people's
actually,
safety.
so you don't actually think that there's like an open border now?
Okay.
Because like you're like,
No,
okay,
I
the
don't think there's an
evidence
open border now.
Okay.
Okay, great. So, why do you still support the administration? Is there any other things that he's doing that you like?
Okay, I'll tell you this because it's fairly new. Could you say that they just got into office? I gave Biden a chance, right?
So
I
they've
like
been
to
in
say I'm
office
more
for, like,
independent.
75 days.
What I'm saying is I gave Biden his whole 4 years. I'm more of an independent thinker. Yes, I did vote Trump. I like to give it time. I know a lot of people are upset about the tariffs, and I know there's more into it than border. There's a lot of different things.
The argument, give it time, is only valid if like he's announced proposed policy that will take time to
Right.
be implemented that you think will be good. So could you please tell us about some of the plans that he has for the next 3.5 years?
I think we're going to be out of
Good.
conflict. I think we're going to be out of wars. I think
Even though he just threatened to literally like bomb Iran, and he wants to own and control Gaza in the long run. He wants to annex Canada, Greenland, and Panama.
So, and then also, even like his support against Ukraine just brings us closer to a third world war. It's like when we stop supporting Ukraine, it's not like support for Ukraine goes away. It's just that other countries, specifically in the EU, bump up their support. And that's why now
Okay.
France and the UK are considering putting boots on the ground. So,
Okay.
like, what do you think brings Russia closer to launching a full-on invasion/war on NATO? NATO boots on the ground or no NATO boots on the ground?
I think it was more like
Will, could you answer my question, please?
what? More NATO boots on the ground or less NATO boots on the ground?
So what do you think brings Russia closer to launching a war on NATO? NATO boots on the ground killing Russian troops, or no NATO boots on the ground killing Russian troops?
No NATO boots on the ground killing Russian troops.
I asked you what brings us closer to a third world war.
Less. What brings us closer would be more NATO troops. Yes,
Would be
more
NATO
NATO.
boots on the
Sorry.
ground.
Yes.
Okay. The way
Correct.
that we prevent that is by continuing to fund Ukraine. The only reason why other NATO countries are now considering placing their boots on the ground is because we are backing off.
Okay.
So, if anything, his policy is getting us closer to more conflict and more war.
And I'm an open thinker, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm trying to learn. I did vote Trump.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to respond to the position? Do you have any other reasons why you support the administration?
To the position, the more I can say on that is, I really feared that if Kamala was in decisions of conflicts and stuff, I would be fighting for in the war in 2 years. I'd be out in Ukraine with an AR.
Okay, why?
Like,
You think you'd be drafted if Kamala Harris? is
yes, I
president?
think we would have more of a chance of World War III with Kamala in office.
Wait, you
Because I
unironically-
think world leaders fear
by the
her
way,
less. They're able to. Putin made that move because she went into that room with Zelensky, and then he
this is all
raided.
propaganda. This is all propaganda. I want to make that so incredibly clear. First and foremost, you literally just conceded that Donald Trump is pushing America closer to World War III in the context of Russia and Ukraine. You were the one that told me that NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine brought us closer to a third world war. Meanwhile, no NATO boots on the ground brings us further away from a third world war. Under Kamala Harris's presidency, there would not be discussions between France and UK considering to put their boots on the ground in Ukraine to fight Russia. Under Donald Trump's presidency, there is. You've already conceded that Kamala Harris is better for national security concerns as it relates to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. You already made that concession.
I don't think I necessarily admitted to
Yeah,
Harris.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. There's a higher likelihood of NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine under Trump than there is under Harris.
Well, then maybe I misunderstood what you were asking me previously. Then
So you think that more NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine brings us further away from a third world war or closer to a third world war? Which one?
I'd have to think about it now. Now my head's spinning.
Dude,
I have a question.
I can't
Would
do
you
it today.
support Trump if he gave more power to Putin?
No.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing by pulling out funding for Ukraine. He's giving more
I
power
also,
to Putin.
but I also, Parker, but I also believe we should have never gotten involved in that in the first place.
Do you know what the Budapest Memorandum is?
No. Could you inform me?
Yeah, of course. We signed an agreement with Ukraine that if they gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would defend them.
Okay.
Is it just because I'm tired, or like the guest today is significantly more dense than usual? What's up, Tax Dollar Kills?
Hello.
Very cute cat, sir. Do you support Trump?
Absolutely not. I had a question about your thoughts on the VA and the cuts. That
Gotta kick you, man.
We don't like the
cutting
cuts.
the VA
We were
is
really
bad.
pissed at that. Yeah.
Very, very cute cat, though. Well, is there anything else you want to share with us?
That'll be all. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you and I hope that you.
I appreciate you guys
enjoy
too.
the rest of your day. All right, we're gonna move on to the next guest. Somebody in the YouTube chat said, "No, Dean, it's you today." I think the likelihood is there, man. That's why I'm like still trying to be kind. You know, just barely holding myself together.
Maybe partially. I mean, I do think we're getting some dense guests and a lot of trolls. So I think it is more than like what it used to be. That's what definitely true.
What's up, old chum? Do you support Trump? Great. We're gonna move on to the next guest. Here we go, everyone. We're gonna get that next guest up in the live right now. We got DeEssence loading in, you guys. Tree, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Tree says, my bestie that I met through you and Parker's flying to Oregon to Texas to meet y'all on April 22nd. We're so excited to meet y'all. Oh, that is awesome, Tree. You know, honestly, like the idea of a lot of people flying into Texas makes me really nervous because I'm like, oh shit, like what if you don't have the best experience of your life and then you just spent hundreds of dollars on plane tickets? But nonetheless, I think that's awesome, Tree. Thank you for the $20. It means the world. And then also, Erica, thank you for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Erica. What is at least 500 Erica W's right now? That is ERICA. Thank you so much for the love, Erica. You are based, as well as Mr. Connor with the $20 saying so based, so good. And Connor, it's good to see you again today. Connor's my dude, by the way, y'all. Connor's in here every single day. We love Connor. We love Erica. We love everyone. A huge shout out to Erica, Connor, and Tree down below in that chat. While we get the next guest loaded into the live right now, I don't know why, but the viewership has been on a steady decline from like close to 9,000 until now. Don't know what's going on. We're going to try to get that next guest up in the box, y'all. I mean, hey, if you're one of the 7,000 people watching and you want to help us get some more debates going, just, double tap away on that phone screen and share that live. Rosie girl, thank you so much for the galaxy. And Mr. Ethan, do you support Trump?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, do you support Trump?
Yes, I just had a question for both of you.
Okay, what time is it?
6:38.
6:38. Okay, yeah. Feel free to ask your question, but then tell us why you support the president.
Yeah, I just had a question. Why is your jawline so sharp? Why does Parker have the haircut of a 14-year-old girl?
Does he think that's like funny or something? Like what?
What?
I have the haircut of a 14-year-old girl. What?
I don't think I've actually ever seen a 14-year-old girl with a haircut. So it doesn't.
Yeah, to be honest with you,
like I think that's just like the best response. I don't know.
I mean, he must be. He's such a weirdo, dude.
What's going on, Just Us? Do you support Trump?
He would have been better off if he said that I look like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, because that's true.
I'm pretty surprised that I got in. I'm from Germany.
I'm gonna get kicked. I'm sorry, man. Only looking to debate people from America that support the president, y'all. And wait, was he like, assuming that he like was dissing Parker, he was also probably meaning to diss me? Is like a shop Charlene like a bad thing? Crazy. What's up? Hello, do you support Trump?
Yes.
You do? Why?
Because we need a change.
Okay. All right. Well, so tell us what we need to shift away from, and tell us the direction that Donald Trump has sent our country on and how it's a good thing.
I would say.
Okay.
She just left. I thought the live got banned, but it didn't. So, yeah, I'm actually like really not enjoying this stream. I think that this is probably one of my like less enjoyable streams in like the last couple of weeks. Like this shit.
I'm sorry,
this
bro.
shit sucks, dude. I don't
It's
even.
my fault.
Yeah, bro, it's all your fault, Parker. I'm gonna
It is
blame
all
it
my
all on
fault.
you. I'm gonna blame it all on you. Hey, I've already talked to Ethan like 3 times. Feel free to talk to
Okay.
him if you want. He's just a Kremlin puppet.
Free Palestine. I don't know what you said.
So Ethan is just he's one of Putin's puppets.
Well, Putin's a hero, and Ukraine is a tyranny dictatorship. And
You removed him? You didn't want to talk to him?
Hell no. I've already talked to him before, I'm pretty sure. And he's also insane. Like, dude,
He's
I'm not
so crazy.
like that's actually crazy. He's literally pro Putin.
Yes,
he's like
yes.
actually
Yes,
pro Putin.
He said Putin's a hero. He's really
That's
gone.
diabolically
So,
fucking insane.
Dude, the last time I debated him, what is like the Kremlin-led media source? Russia Times? Is that what it's called?
Is that what he sent to you?
Yeah, he sourced Russia Times for a claim that he made. Yo, what's going on? Jeremiah.
I remember I was there when we talked to him. Oh my god, I remember.
It's pretty crazy, man. Jeremiah, do you support Trump?
Yo, yeah, I have a question.
Why does everyone have questions? I just want to know why you support the president, but I want to answer your questions as well, so feel free to ask away.
All right, so like I don't watch your lives a lot, but I stopped in like before the election, and I heard like one of your talking points. Oh, I'm out of breath. Sorry, I'm at the gym right now, but okay, let me take a breath. All right, I'm good. I heard like one of your talking points was like someone said like if they said something along the lines of I like Trump because of the border, then you would say like, oh well, how do you feel that he like shut down the bipartisan border bill? Like you remember obviously talking about that, right?
Yep, I sure do.
Yeah, well, what about like the border crossings now? Aren't they like a lot lower than they were before?
Yeah, they were.
But there hasn't been a bill. He did it with all executive orders, right? So wasn't
Right.
that something that Biden could have done the whole time that he didn't do?
So Biden actually did end up passing an executive order at the end of his term, which reduced crossings by 75% in the last 4 months. If you'd like to argue that he could have passed an executive order sooner, you're right, and I think that actually is a small critique of the administration. But like overwhelmingly, I don't think that the critique takes too much importance, as I find all actions through executive orders, as it would relate to the border, both under Biden and Trump, to be band-aids on 4-inch cuts, just a short-term solution that legitimately does nothing in the long term. Donald Trump has never really proposed any policy to reduce undocumented entry into America in the long term, and I find
Yeah, but
that
I
to be a
thought
massive issue with his administration.
I thought that the border crossings have went down like 90% or something, like a crazy number. Is that not true? Or
So, I mean, he's deployed like national guards to the southern border, and I don't give a fuck because it doesn't do anything in the long term. It doesn't address what is causing undocumented entry in the first place. It's just preventing it at the ports of entry, right? What causes undocumented entry is slow, neglected, depraved, expensive legal means of entry. Until you fix those, you will never fix the insane amount of migrants who have a significantly larger amount of reason to use undocumented means of entry compared to legal means of entry, right? We need to fix that. That's a huge fucking issue. Can you name one time Donald Trump has ever even just stood in front of a mic on a podium and said the legal means of entry into America need to be better?
I think I have heard him say it, yeah, but I don't think I've heard him introduce.
I would love for you to show me that.
I'm on my phone right now. This is all I have, so I'd have to like back out of the live. I wouldn't be able to do that, but I'm pretty sure I've heard him say like, okay, we need to make it the legal access easier. But I don't think he's ever
said that.
Any actual policy.
Yeah, right. And I mean, all that it shows is that Donald Trump has never taken any actual policy to reduce undocumented entry in the long term.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to fix one of the both problems, right? So he's fixed the first one. We can agree on that.
What's the first problem?
The first problem is that there's a like abnormally large number of undocumented immigrants entering the United States. And then the second problem would be to fix it more in the long term by making the legal means easier in the future.
So, I mean, you could fix it now with a long-term solution. You remove a migrant's incentive to enter in with the use of undocumented means, and undocumented entry plummets. And I feel like that is the adequate and appropriate solution.
So you're going to have to say that one. Remove the incentives.
Yeah, remove the incentive for migrants to enter in with the use of undocumented means.
Is he not doing that right now?
So removing the incentive to enter in undocumented would be fixing the legal means of entry into this country. You are right. Mass deportation does reduce incentive. Absolutely. That's undeniable.
don't want to come over,
However,
they're just
mass deportation has an unbearing amount of negative repercussions on our own country, our country's economy, as well as humanitarian and ethical concerns, meaning that I think it is a terrible decision. It's also very expensive. I mean, it's going to cost $1 trillion in the next 10 years. And that is just the calculus of the opportunity cost based upon how much taxes undocumented migrants pay every year. That's not even considering the effects of that will occur through slow GDP growth or a crippled labor force. And that's not even considering the humanitarian or ethical concerns related to not giving migrants due process on stripping hardworking mothers and fathers away from their families.
Yeah, that's a solid point. But it's like it goes a little bit more in depth than that because you can make the legal means anything you want, like essentially. If you were to just say, okay, hey, everyone who's coming in undocumented, let's get your name and information, and okay, congratulations, now you're a United States citizen. But it's more complicated than that because you need to do like diverse and deep background checks, things like that.
Yeah, I don't mind deep background checks are fine, right? But I mean, I don't think that deep background checks explain why individuals are waiting 10 years to come into America.
Well, because America's the best country in the world. People want to be here because it's amazing.
I don't understand what that had to do with it. all that I just said is that it doesn't take 10 years to do a background check.
Yeah,
okay,
you
I
can
thought
do
you
background
said
checks very quickly. Do you agree?
What'd you say?
You can do background checks very quickly. Do you agree?
I have no idea.
Okay, do you have an issue with like immigration in the early 1900s through Ellis Island?
Also, I'm pretty sure the live is limited, Parker. I made you a
I don't really know
reset.
too much about it.
I know for sure it is.
I don't know too much about that like particular. I have no clue.
You don't know? You don't know?
No.
You do know what Ellis Island is?
I mean, yeah, I've heard. I remember hearing about it and learning about it, but I don't know like the particular policy that you're referencing when you ask like, was I okay with
You know,
it?
it took around 3 to 7 hours for them to be processed. for
What they check?
immigration.
What they check like in their background checks and stuff?
So, like, wait,
They probably didn't have any.
they probably didn't have much checks, but like the point I'm making is that like people
then I guess
typically
no,
on the right don't have an issue with the immigration throughout the early 1900s, yet they want to put all these restrictions on immigrants coming today.
I think it.
So
I
please
think it
tell
should
me
take
why.
like 3 months or less.
But yeah,
to
if it was
become a
like
citizen.
3 to 7
Yeah,
hours,
there's no way it should take any
if it was
longer
like
than that.
3 to 7 hours with no background checks, then no, I probably wouldn't like agree that that's a.
Well, there'd be some process of background checks. Of course, they would check things, but there's
so it wouldn't
limited
be the same.
documentation that you could access back then as well. So again, I understand that there's a need to process things. I get that, but no way in any fucking world should it take on average 5 to 7 years.
No, yeah, I agree. That's crazy. I think that's a problem that we definitely need to fix. Yeah,
Oh
if
my
Trump hasn't
God.
anything about
Yo.
that, that's definitely that sucks.
Dude, Christian.
Yeah, we gotta fix the food problems too. You know?
Christian, thank you for the $200 donation over on PayPal. You are too much. I don't deserve that. That is so incredibly kind of you, Christian. Christian says, I'd watch you and Parker do podcasts or anything if debates become simply impossible on TikTok. Oh, well, Christian, thank you so much for the love, man. You've been supporting
love,
so
Christian.
much recently. I want to see 2,000 Christian W's down below in the chat, literally right now, because that is just nuts, man. Thank you so much. As well as Linda, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal, saying, hope this gives you a little boost throughout your show. Linda, you just bought me like 1.5 bags of the best quality espresso beans sold in my area. You could fucking trust that money will be giving me a boost. Thank you so much for the love, Linda and Christian. You guys are phenomenal. And Presley with the $10 as well. Thank you so much. And then also Toop Boop with the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat, and Sheree with another 5. Thank you guys so much.
And
Phenomenal.
Katie with the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Katie. Can we get some W's for Katie in the comment section right now for the $50 on Venmo? Thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Jeremiah, I just want to ask you a question. Do you think that we're in a constitutional crisis right now?
No, not necessarily.
No. Okay, I think we do.
Why would you?
I
What'd
think
you say?
I think we are.
A constitutional crisis?
Yeah, because the executive
Yeah.
branch of our government is disrespecting it, ignoring it, and calling for its termination.
Imagine if that happened under Biden. Imagine if Biden didn't listen to the Supreme Court order, right, saying that he shouldn't be able to like limit like federal student loans. You guys would have fucking freaked out.
Hey, also, Parker, if I was to give you like the information to sign into one of my accounts to join the live, do you think that you'd be interested in doing that? Because I want to, I like possibly.
Do you think it could be this account?
I don't know. It's just a hypothesis worth testing at some point.
I can try my girlfriend's account.
You wanna?
Yeah, I can.
Word.
Yeah, so I don't
You
know
even have
like
to do
too
that right
much
now, if you don't want
about like I'm not really like 100% like fluent in like government policy and how it works, but how would like I guess not doing what the Supreme Court suggests, how would that be a constitutional crisis?
Well, sure, because the Supreme Court are the interpreters of the Constitution, and if they rule that an action taken by the Trump administration is unconstitutional and they must right their wrong, and the Trump administration declines, the Trump administration is basically saying that they acknowledge what they did was unconstitutional. They acknowledge they have an obligation to fix and erect the unconstitutional action which they caused. However, they are simply declining, and I mean that's on top of like Donald Trump calling for the termination of the Constitution in December of 2022, trying to steal the election from Biden in 2020, or calling news organizations such as CNN and MSNBC illegal and now instructing agencies under the executive branch of our government to do everything they can to bankrupt other organizations like NBC and PBS, saying that they're propagandists. I mean, he's launched an attack on the media. He's launched an attack on civil rights. And he's launched an attack on the First Amendment. And he's launched an attack on the entirety of the Constitution when he called for its abolition. I mean, I think that this is astonishingly clear the direction that Trump is sending America in, and the threat that he proposes to the American Constitution.
Okay, well, don't executive orders sometimes like interpret the Constitution or interpret like laws?
The only governing body with the power to interpret the Constitution as they see fit is the Supreme Court. Now, I don't understand how that responds to a single thing I just said.
Well, I know. I wasn't responding directly to what you're saying. I was asking like.
I guess the answer to your question would be no.
Yeah. So I was saying like if executive orders can interpret laws,
They
then
can't.
yeah, that was my. So if they can't, then yeah, I mean, I guess. What exact instance are you talking about where he's like ignored the Supreme Court? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, they told him that he had to get one moment. Abrigo Garcia, who is an innocent resident in America, out of the El Salvadorian jail the Trump administration sent him to, and they declined. And then once again, that's on top of everything else I just said.
Yeah,
Okay.
9-0 determination from the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Because like I know one thing that was brought up, like I saw on the news, like it was a decent amount of time ago, not too long ago. There was like birthright citizenship, and they were talking about how like he removed the birthright citizenship in its entirety, and I felt like the headlines were a little misleading. It felt like he was more interpreting. Okay, I accidentally X out that. It felt like he was interpreting the law that was already there about birthright citizenship.
Why are you
and-
Can you please respond to the things that I said?
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't heard about that constant, like him ignoring the Supreme Court. That's definitely a problem. I'm gonna have to research that for sure. I mean, like you said, if executive orders have no right to interpret a constitutional amendment, then and the Supreme Court does interpret that, and he doesn't abide by their interpretation, that's definitely an issue. That'd definitely be a problem.
Great. I want to ask the new guy something. Hey, what's up, Mr. P? That's what I'm going to call you. You said that we need to deport Abrigo Garcia, and that's a good thing. Why do you say that? Why do you think it's a good thing to deport and imprison innocent American residents?
Well, Putin's a hero, and we all know that. So I want everyone to know that Russia's winning, and Russia will win. And I am Mr. P, but I prefer President P, as in President Putin of the Russian Federation. I hope all my constituents are doing well and are doing great. It's a great day today as President Putin spoke with the DPR and the LPR over infrastructure building. So
What a fucking weirdo. You absolute Russian show, bro. Like, go lick his boots, bro.
Wait.
Please.
I just have a question, Mr. P. Do you care that
Yes.
I'm muting you?
I mean, I can unmute.
Why?
They gotta be
Wait,
trolling. There's no way.
why is me violating your right to speak pissing you off when you support a violation of human rights such as the right to live and the right to self-determination of millions of Ukrainians? Like, I'm just
Free
doing this for fun.
Palestine. Free Palestine. Can we talk about that? Why do we never talk about that if it's all about human rights?
Free Palestine.
Free
We
Palestine.
don't dispute that. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we
you
agree.
say that to us as if you don't support the candidate that wants to
I'm
create
glad we
Trump
agree
Gaza.
on
He wants to
We
create
agree
Trump
on
Gaza
this.
because he sees Gaza as real estate development.
Right.
It's called
I just
Zion.
want an answer to my question. So, why do you think that we should deport legal residents in America, such as Abrigo Garcia? The only reason why you're on this live right now is because you commented deport Abrigo Garcia, and I'd like you to explain the position.
Was that was for me, correct?
Yeah, that was for you.
Okay. Well, I have two stances, my personal and political stance. Well, he's an El Salvadorian resident. So, like Bukel said, is he supposed to smuggle him back in at this point? I mean, from a logistics standpoint.
No. They operate with the other fucking president to literally legally get a legal citizen back to the country.
Or Bukel isn't going to send him back. So at that point, we can't do anything. It's that
okay,
simple.
So why won't he send it back?
I don't know. I don't live in El Salvador. That's not our problem.
Living thing than $10. Okay, so then why doesn't Donald Trump treat this situation as if it's a hostage situation?
Because he's an El Salvadorian resident. I mean, not resident, citizen.
He's a U.S. citizen that was illegally deported.
He is also a citizen of El Salvador.
So you think that we should just be able to deport and imprison dual citizens?
What?
No, well, if it's Israel, yes, but on this topic, he's an El Salvadorian resident, and stop.
Wait,
saying
I have a
that.
question.
Citizen?
Are you pro Palestine? Are you pro Palestinian because you're just like an alt-right griper that's anti-Semitic?
I'm not anti-Semitic. I love Palestine because
I'm the only reason I'm asking you that question is because like you seemingly don't care about human rights violations as it relates to Ukraine.
And you're literally pro-Putin.
You're pro-Putin. Like typically like the only like demographic of people that we'd see these conjunction of views in is like alt-right Nazis. Yeah.
Fuentes is a clown. I'm not in that groiper.
I'm so surprised you think that. That is genuinely surprising.
I listened to him on Twitter a little bit, and you can kind of tell that he says stuff for shock value.
Just like you do. Get out of the live. All right, Jeremiah, if you want to unmute and go back to what you're saying, feel free. And Jeremiah left. All right, we're gonna move on to the next guest. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm of the live.
Maybe it's just like me in general.
I don't know, man. It's all right. Danny, thanks for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat.
I can leave for a little bit and let you just test it out.
That's all right, man. Feel free to stay up. What's up, Jordan? Do you support Trump?
If it's gonna be this, I'll just go back to my other account, the L Donald one.
All right, sounds good. Jordan, do you support Trump? Yippee! All right, for the 6.1 thousand people in here, you guys, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen, and I do appreciate everyone so much for being here today. We're going to try to get that next guest up in the live right now as we are just looking for some debates. And now let me tell you, what the fuck? Did Jordan just, like, spawn back into the live? He did. I just had to, like, double kick Jordan. Dude, what the hell? All right, we're going to go to get the next guest up here. If you're one of the 6.1 thousand people watching over on on TikTok, make sure that we're double tapping. Hey, man, we're just looking for some debates. And, so far today, it's been a little bit difficult to get them. So if you want to come up here and have a discussion, all you need to do is drop a mag in that chat. We're going to get you up on the live. TikTok is acting a little bit funny, a little bit strange today, and I feel like that is undeniable. Honestly, I don't know if it's me. I just haven't enjoyed the guest today. What's going on, Alex? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. And I am pro-life and pro-tariff.
Okay, what time is it?
3:57.
3:57, what state are you in?
Seattle.
Seattle is not a state. All right, goodbye. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go. We got the next guest loading up into the live. We got Linux loading. Here we are, everyone. Just go ahead and just give us one moment. Trying to get that next guest up in here. All right. What is going on, Linux? Do you support Trump?
Oh, can I say thank you to Sid real quick? Thank you for the $25. Thank you so much, Sid, on Venmo. Thank you so much. Give me some W's for Sid in the comment section. Don't worry, Sid. Can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see him.
Yeah, he did have the right time for Seattle, but Seattle's not a state. Moving on to the next guest. Here we are. We got Rutch loading up in the box. Hello. You were driving. Goodbye. Moving on. All right, everyone. Just give us a minute. We got Jeremy loading up in the box. U.S. city, though. I said state, but it's likely that I was probably just garbling my words, and it was unclear what I said. And if that's the case, I forget his name, but feel free to hop back in the queue, and I'll bring him back up. Because if, like, multiple people in the chat said heard city, it's likely the guest said city as well.
I didn't even pay attention, to be honest with you.
I said state, but it's just possible that I said so like mumbling or is a little like garbled and wasn't clear, like insofar as the interpretation of others of what people heard.
A lot of people said you said state.
Yeah. What's up, Kai? Do you support Trump?
Hi. No.
All right, bro.
How do you have 71 guest requests and it's like this?
Don't know, man.
Like, what's been going on with TikTok recently, bro? It's been horrible.
Hello, Zenith. Do you support Trump? Goodbye. Moving on. Here we go. Erica, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. Moving on. Here we are. Next guest. Hopefully loading up right now.
Wait, you're connected. Hey, girls.
Hey, do you support Trump?
No, we don't. He's a rapist.
Well, base view, but just looking for Trump supporters. W them. Guys, hello, Aline. Do you support Trump?
Sorry.
Hello, C. Do you support Trump? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to speak. So yeah, moving on to the next guest. Here we are, everyone.
This is actually really difficult to get a guest.
Yeah, you're telling me, man. All right. Yeah, I guess we've just been so successful at debating and changing people's minds. Suffering from success. Hello, GTP. Do you support Trump?
Sure.
What do you mean, sure?
Look, I wanted to see if I can debate you on abortion.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to make something clear before we get back to the debates. Real quick. So I'm going to start banning people who join this live that don't support Trump. And I just want to make that incredibly clear. And I'm hoping that this serves as a tool to disincentivize people from hopping in the queue if they don't support the president. But every single person that is in the queue right now, you are risking being permanently banned from engaging with my content on any platforms. All right, we're going to move on to the next guest. Let's go and get that next guest up here. Hey, what's going on, King Beans? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
27.
27. Rosh, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
All right, what time is it?
7:02.
7:02, sweet. All right, guys, go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
I'll let
Do you wanna go first?
Rush go first.
Who, me?
Anyone?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Okay. All right. I'll go first. I support him for mostly for his economic policies. What he has been able to do so far is just I know you guys don't understand, but you will soon. I think his plan will work.
What has he done so far? He's like wiped $7 trillion off of the market cap evaluations of American companies, and then added $4 trillion back. He's been like an abusive senile narcissist so far, fucking with American companies and Americans. So is that kind of, what is that like? Tell us about this economic plan of his that you think is great. Take it away.
Well, I think the fact that he's bringing in $2 billion a day helps.
No,
with
that was when the
debt
tariffs
that-
were implemented, right? And he didn't even provide a source for that.
What do you mean? He said that. He
said it, but he did not provide a source for it. You know what that's called? It's called a trust me, bro.
He's the president of the United States. So if he's claiming that that these tariffs are bringing in $2 billion a day,
That does
and you
not
guys
mean they're
are
giving in
arguing
$2 billion.
that-
He lies. He lies all the time.
Hey, man, I just did some very fucking simple math. So $2 billion per day for a year is $730 billion, right?
Right.
So his tariffs, according to the Atlanta Fed, are estimated to decrease the American GDP by 4% in the first financial quarter of this year. Do you know what our current GDP is?
I do not.
$27.72 trillion. Do you know what 4% of $27.72 trillion is?
No.
$1.12 trillion. So our GDP will lose $1.12 trillion in one financial quarter of this year because of the policy. But apparently gaining $730 billion per year over the totality of the year makes it worth it.
It's more than that. It's the cuts that the Doge is making. It's getting
Why are we
these
pivoting to
companies to the
Doge?
table.
Why are we pivoting
Huh?
to Doge? You just broke my neck.
What do you mean I broke your neck?
Like, because the pivot was crazy. So you're talking about tariffs and how you think that they're a good thing because they're bringing in $2 billion per year. They cost, per day. They cost significantly more than $2 billion per day. And then I make this point to you. I make it evidently clear, and I give you the facts and the sources to back it. And then your response is to say, but the Doge.
Yeah, because you're making a claim that that 2 billion it's not enough. So
right, it's not
I
enough. It
pivot
doesn't
to
even account for
Doge.
because the opportunity cost of the tariffs is much more expensive than that. We have to account for the opportunity costs in reduction in GDP growth, the opportunity costs, and a lack of consumer confidence in markets, meaning that we're heading towards a recession, and individuals are pulling out their investments in the American stock market, crippling American companies, and the opportunity costs and the massive reduction in our own exports caused by starting trade wars with other countries, hurting our American companies as well. So at the end of the day, the opportunity cost is significantly more expensive than the $2 billion per day that they'd bring in insofar as government revenue.
I understand all that, but I think what you're missing to see is even though we're tariffing these countries, is just to get them to the table and to try to create jobs here in America.
What?
So if it's a renegotiation,
I understand.
Wait, hold up. If it's
like
renegotiation,
the negative impact. Go ahead.
If it's renegotiation, then it wouldn't be increasing domestic production, because the only way that the tariffs would increase domestic production is if they've been put in place.
Yes. No. He took them off because 75 countries have come to the table. So
yeah, so they're not increasing
right now,
domestic production.
Huh?
So they're not increasing domestic production as of right now.
After this, guys, I'm going to do a restart, by the way, Parker.
Okay, for sure. Can I actually say thank you to
because
someone real quick? Yo, Christian with the fucking $200 on PayPal. Can we get some fucking W's for Christian in the comment section? Thank you so much for the support, Christian. That is fucking nuts. W's for Christian in the comment section for the $200 on PayPal. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's always appreciated, Christian. It's always good to see you. Thank you so much, Christian.
All I'm trying to say is that the reason why these tariffs are good is because they will bring American manufacturing back.
No, they won't.
They would grow
They won't bring manufacturing back.
Why say that?
Because he's using them as a tool to negotiate lower tariffs that other countries have imposed on us. If it's a case that he's merely using the tariffs as leverage to negotiate with other countries, he has to be willing to let go of the tariffs we have imposed on them. But if he wants to use the tariffs to bring more manufacturing to America, well, producers have to have certainty that he is unwilling to let go of them, because it takes 3 to 5 years to build new manufacturing plants in America and cost billions of dollars. But if he's willing to just let them go because other countries have renegotiated their trade agreements on us, well, then they'd have no incentive and no good reason to start, building more new manufacturing plants in our country. The two regions contradict one another. If tariffs are used as a tool for negotiation, they can't be used as a tool to drive more American manufacturing. And if tariffs are used as a tool to drive more American manufacturing, they can't be used as a tool to drive negotiation.
And that's my point. Two things can be true.
No, they can't. My point is they can't. These two things cannot be true simultaneously.
So you're saying that him putting tariffs on, it's not going to force these countries to come back and make their manufacturing plants here?
Not if he is using the tools as a tool, not if he's using the tariffs as a tool to negotiate with other countries to get them to reduce their tariffs on us. Obviously, the other countries would only be willing to do that if we reduce our tariffs on them in response. Okay, but if we're willing to reduce our tariffs on other countries, then producers outside of America have no real reason to start building plants in America, because it takes 3 to 5 years until they were complete and it costs billions of dollars. But if we're willing to just let our tariffs go on a whim because another country decided to make a better trade agreement with us, who knows? Maybe by the time they are ready to start that manufacturing plant that they just built in the last 3 to 5 years, well, all of a sudden they no longer need it because the tariffs are gone.
I get it. I just think that he knows what he's doing as a businessman.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I'm detailing to you exactly, precisely how he does not know what he's doing, as the two goals are contradictory. You have to either explain to me how I'm wrong or explain to me that this is not what Trump is doing.
I think you're wrong because it may work. You're right.
It may not. I'm telling you, it is a contradiction. It is a contradiction. If the tariffs are going to drive more people making goods outside of America to making goods inside of America, those people need to have confidence that those tariffs are there to stay. Can you concede to that?
I'll concede to that, yeah.
Okay. But would other countries negotiate and reduce their tariffs on us if our tariffs on them are confidently there to stay?
No, that's the thing. They're not there to stay.
You just conceded that if companies are going to move to America because those tariffs are confidently there to stay, then other countries will not negotiate better trade agreements with us, which means that the tariffs would thereby not be able to be used as a tool to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries if they're being used as a tool to drive more manufacturers to build manufacturing plants in America. So you just conceded on your own that these two goals contradict one another.
Well, I don't think I conceded that.
Yes, you
but
did.
I do concede. No, I mean I disagree with the first point that you made. I think if
You verbally
he
agreed.
plans,
You verbally agreed to everything I said.
no, I said if he plans to make this happen, the only reason that this is gonna happen is if he forced these countries to come to the table by putting tariffs on them, because again,
Okay,
like
we're just going to walk through it again. If manufacturers are going to build manufacturing facilities in America, they have to have confidence that the tariffs are there to stay, correct?
yes,
If the tariffs are confidently there to stay, could those tariffs be used as a tool to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries?
yes,
Why? Why?
Well-
What incentive would the other country have to reduce their tariffs on us?
yeah, but yeah. but
Answer
I
the
think- I
question.
think-
What
I think- I
incentive
think
would the
you're
other
seeing-
country have to reduce their tariffs on us if our tariffs on them are confidently there to stay?
Temporarily, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, if they're just there temporarily, then they're not confidently there to stay, which means that manufacturers outside of America will have no incentive to start producing inside of America. Ooh.
Well, why not? Isn't that the whole point of
Why not?
forcing
Because
these
you're the
com-
one. Why would they no longer have that incentive? Because the tariffs would be temporary, as you just suggested, and you agreed that they'd have to be confidently there to stay and not temporary in order for those companies to have any incentive to move to America. You have verbally stated that you agree with that twice. So agree to it a third time. Once again, in order for companies outside of America to have any incentive to produce inside our country, the tariffs must confidently be there to stay. Correct?
Correct, but not long term.
Are temporary tariffs confidently there to stay?
Yes.
That what?
Temporarily
What?
until things
What?
get worked out.
What?
Until things get worked out between.
Dude, come on. You're saying that when it's hot outside, it's cold outside. Temporary tariffs that are only being
never
used
said
as a
that.
tool to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries are confidently there to stay. Come on, bro. What?
I said temporarily, because that's the whole point of the tariffs, is to have them here temporarily until we work out a deal.
So therefore, they're not confidently there to stay, and therefore manufacturers from other countries don't have incentive to move to America.
Yes, but they still do. That's the whole
What?
point. My point is,
You
My
just
point
said
is-
that, yes, Dean, you're right. They don't have any incentive to move to America, but they still do have incentive to move to America. You just said that the sky is blue, but the sky's not blue.
I never said anything about the sky. What I'm saying is that. What I'm saying is
he
that.
never, you know what, Dean? He never said a single thing about the sky, Dean. You're fucking wrong, buddy. You're totally fucking wrong.
Parker, what I'm trying to say is that the only way to get these countries to the table is to negotiate with them by temporarily putting tariffs in them to try to force.
Yeah, wait, Rosh, I got you. If the tariff isn't implemented, well, then there's not going to be an increase in domestic production, because there's only going to be an increase in domestic production if the tariff's implemented. And that's why you're advocating for the tariff, right? To increase domestic production.
Correct. In the U.S.
Yeah, I understand. But like, again, if the tariff is not implemented, then there is going to be no increase in domestic production.
No, because everything we move to the U.S.
If the tariff isn't implemented.
I want to kick you.
Hey, if the
Why?
tariff isn't implemented, you agreed that there would be no movement of manufacturers to the United States. You agree, right?
Yes, if the tariffs are not
So again, you
because-
did. So if Donald Trump pauses the tariffs, there's no increase in people going to the United States because there is no tariff implemented.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't know that. What if because it's temporarily. He paused it for 90 days.
Okay.
What if they're planning on moving their products here?
Explain to me why.
No.
Explain to me why a company outside of America would spend billions and billions and billions of dollars to
not become more profitable.
To start a subsidy inside of America to hire execs, to hire managers, and to contract out millions of dollars of worth of construction companies to build facilities and plants to produce their goods, set up the analytics of where you're getting the raw materials from and how the production plan is going to work, and hire on hundreds or thousands of employees to work there throughout this process that's going to take 3 to 6 years. If these tariffs are temporary and will exist or not exist on a whim, who knows? They could be gone tomorrow, as they are right now, and then they could be reinstated, but then gone again, and then maybe, right? There's all these companies and all of these countries that are coming to the table and are willing to drop their tariffs on us. So we're going to drop it on them. So now the home country where they were producing is no longer tariffs. So then now they're just losing money through the American manufacturing plants. It's not going to happen. Okay. The only way that we could confidently drive companies from producing outside of America to inside of America is if the tariffs are there to stay permanently in the long term. If that doesn't happen, then manufacturers will not come. And because that's not happening, manufacturers will not come.
I will answer your first question. So you said that explain to you. So in 90 days, if these countries, if these companies don't move their plants here into the U.S., they will get an increase in tariff. So they have no choice but to move their things here, because if they don't, they will get an increase of tariffs in 90 days.
Sir, do you think it takes 90 days to move a company into America?
I'm not saying everything, but start moving things back here.
Do you think it even takes 90 days to start moving things?
Yes. I don't think it's that hard.
It'd probably take 90 days for a suggestion of starting American manufacturing to land on the desk of a multi-billion-dollar exec, running products out of China. Okay, dude, this is unreal. Obviously, you don't have any business experience, right?
Also, have you seen all of the videos on TikTok of the manufacturers posting "Yo, just buy from us directly, and we'll help you get around the tariffs"? Have you seen that?
No, I've never saw those.
Dude, they've been all over my For You page, all over my For You page.
What I'm trying to say is that since
I have a question. Do manufacturers
tariffs,
right now, do they know that when the 90-day extension expires from Trump, that those tariffs will thereby be permanent and there to stay in the long term?
Yeah, because he said it.
Okay, so then other countries will never reduce their tariffs on us. That's all that means.
You got that one bot in the comment section, mods, by the way.
Right?
You might have to just.
Huh? Wait, say
what
that again?
the fuck? That account is blocked.
I know it gets, even though you block it, it still goes through. It's really weird. It's a bot that someone probably pays for. It's the same thing every time.
Okay. Anyways, please
All
respond to
I'm
what I
trying to
just
say
said.
is that they have.
So no. Respond to what I just said. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay.
If the tariffs are confidently there to stay in 90 days, why would other countries that have tariffs on us want to reduce them?
Because we will not be ordering or shipping from those countries because the companies that are built in those countries will move back to the U.S.
No. Tell me why the other country would want to reduce their tariffs on us.
They won't, because you know why?
So then if the tariffs are being used as a tool to drive more manufacturing to America, they can't be used as a tool to negotiate lower tariffs that other countries have imposed on us, and you just conceded.
I think you're missing my point. What I'm trying to say is that
stop with the missing the point bullshit. Stop with the missing the point bullshit. That is so stupid. You just said that other countries will not reduce their tariffs on us if we have permanent tariffs imposed on them.
Yes, no.
Okay, and it requires permanent tariffs to drive more manufacturing into America, right?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for the concession. If tariffs are being used to drive American manufacturing into America, then tariffs cannot be used as a tool to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries.
No. It's not even about other countries. It's about the companies. The companies that are
So
built
I just want
there.
a yes or no. If tariffs are being used to drive more manufacturing into America, then tariffs cannot be used as a tool to specifically negotiate better trade agreements with other countries. Yes or no?
No.
Okay,
That's
get
not
the
the
fuck
point.
off the live. Get the fuck off the live. You just conceded 10 seconds ago when you said that tariffs have to be permanent in order to drive more manufacturing into America, and tariffs can't be permanent if you want to use them to negotiate better trade agreements with other countries. All right, Rec, unmute.
Howdy. How you guys doing?
Hey, you said in the chat that I was paid by the DNC. Do you really believe that?
I had to get up here. It was the best way to get up here. But no, I'm at Mega.
All right, we're going to restart the live just because I think the push is limited.
Got you.
These guests today have been terrible.
Everyone, go over to our YouTubes. You don't have to deal with this constant. We go off of fucking TikTok. We get
Wait,
banned.
no.
Millions of accounts.
Stay here until we restart so we can get good algorithm push in the beginning.
Okay, I got you.
And then go to the YouTubes. All right.
Alrighty.
Are you going to rejoin, Parker?
Buddy. Yes, of course. I mean, I don't have another account anyway.
All right, bye. Everyone, I'm going to be back in 10 seconds. Here's the deal. So click on my profile picture. Then you'll be directed to my account. Once you're on the account, then just like refresh and I'll be right back on live. We're just doing a restart because the live isn't pushing out. The reason why it's a really good and important thing for the live to push out is so we can make sure that we have a constant inflow of Trump supporters. But I'll be right back in 10 seconds. Dude, the Trump supporters today are driving me up a wall. Everybody on YouTube, they're absolutely driving me up. They're just driving me up a wall today, man. This is bad. This is terrible. Oh, man. Terrible. All right. Driving me up a wall. Dean, where are your TikTok mods? People are spamming the hard R. So the accounts spamming the hard R are getting essentially auto-banned, either by myself or by the mods. But they can just shoot out like 10 messages before they get banned because it's probably just a bot. So then the messages still go through even though the account is technically banned. But I mean, all the accounts are getting blipped off, I mean, as soon as they spawn into the chat. Hey, for the 850 people that are just tuning back into the live, welcome in, you guys. I'm going to go and tell you guys exactly what you need to do in order to help this live get pushed out across that For You page. So I need to make sure that you are double tapping away on that phone screen and make sure that you're sharing this live out with a handful of friends, everybody. So if we do those two things, we can make sure that this is a successful live. We just really need to make sure that we are going to be sending out and across that For You page. That is the most important thing to do for that FYP push, everyone. We're going to go to get my main account up here so we can push it in the Noti Gang over there, as well as Mr. Parker's account. Also, if you're watching and you like what you see and you like to support what you see, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the account bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms, and 100% of the proceeds go right to me. You could also do the same thing over on YouTube by finding my Venmo, my PayPal, and the pin message. But anyways, we are going to go ahead and hop straight into the debate. So if you're one of the first 1.7 thousand people in here and you support the president, go ahead and hop in that queue for me. We'll get you up here for a conversation. In fact, we got our first guest loading in right now. What is going on, Bean? Do you support Trump?
Of course I support Donald Trump. Why would I not?
Well, I think one good reason not to support Donald Trump is he is a threat to the American democracy. He has tried to impede and restrict upon our civil and electoral processes, such as he did when he tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020. Not to mention his economic policy is regressive. It just redistributes money and funding from the poor to the wealthy, on top of the idea that he intentionally crashed the stock market and is barreling America towards a recession. There's about 1 billion other reasons, but we could start there.
That's totally. Is it okay if I have my camera on?
Yeah, I don't care.
So I just want to know, could we bring Harry up like a guy who actually gets pussy? Or are we going to talk to you virgins all day?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, Mr. Bean, I think it is absolutely hilarious that you are more interested in my own sex life than, the friends IRL. Something that I always think is really funny is how the right likes to talk about how it's the left that is sexualizing our society. It's the left that is pushing attractions and sexually exploiting our children. But then the Trump supporter comes up here, and when he gets an argument that he cannot respond to because I'm
Why are they
significantly
so
smarter
mad?
and more educated than he is, he's like,
so
but
mad?
you're a virgin. So I'd recommend going and telling that
Are you
to
trolling?
the girlfriend that I live with. But
You're a
of course, I would never let you get within
He
90
fucks
feet of
you,
her.
not
Neither would she.
the other way around, bud.
What did he say?
So, I don't know.
Your girlfriend fucks you. She puts a strap on and she fucks
Christopher,
you.
thank you for
B,
$10.
just
Thank you.
quick question. Be honest. Are you the one writing?
Is that what you're fantasizing about?
Are you the one writing the fanfics on Substack?
Where's Harry?
I've seen them all.
Where's Harry?
Okay, sir.
Get Harry up here.
Hey, Bean. I'm just gonna be blunt with you, man. I'm
Get
gonna
a guy up here who gets pussy out of you guys. Get Harry up here, you loser.
Do you need me to meet you like
such a weirdo,
do you mind if I
dude.
just talk real quick?
I actually like Harry now. Now I know he gets pussy.
What a weirdo.
Hey,
what
just
a weirdo.
Bean, real quick. I'm gonna just drop the theatrics. We're here to debate. If you're not here to debate, we'll just kick you.
I am here to debate. I want to debate on.
Okay, great. So then, if you want to debate, go ahead and respond to the reasons that I gave you insofar as why Donald Trump is not a good president. That's all.
Because Harry's a womanizer.
Oh, so you care about individuals that are womanizers? Then why do you support the rapist?
Harry's like right there, right? He's almost a rape. He takes women's photos and.
I'll answer your question when you answer mine.
And you like him because of that? It's
You
crazy, you
ran
fucking
away, dude.
weirdo.
Don't run
You
from
like
Harry's
him because of that? You
adultery,
fucking
dude.
weirdo.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to clarify. Did you just come up here to talk about Harry? Because if that's the case, we're
Yeah,
just
he
gonna
did. He's just
Harry's
a
way
troll.
better. He's way more
You
entertaining.
see, he said it like
actually.
100 times.
All right, Bean. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.
This guy's gay, guys. This guy is gay. Right here. He's a gay.
Hey, Bean, seriously. I just want to point out the fact it's terrible that the 20-year-old is like more mature than the bald 55-year-old. But
that's rough,
like,
dude.
Not 55, dude.
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
hey, dude, can you take the hat off? Can you take the hat off?
The
for me?
reason why I know you're 55 is because I swear to God, the last time I saw somebody wearing that hat was a picture of my dad in like 7th grade. Okay, so that's why I say you're 55. But let's just put it aside. Let's have a conversation about why you support the president and why I don't. Are you capable of that? Or are you going to lash out again with your emotions? Great. Feel free to have the right to speak, all right, that I'm giving you. So go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's take the feelings. Let's set them aside. I understand that you want to talk about how you think me and Parker are attracted to men, but we're just here to talk about politics. Stop being weird.
You got it, bud.
All right. So you asked me why you should not support the president, and I gave you about 10 reasons why. Do you want to respond to any of those?
He left.
He left.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone on YouTube, do make sure to like the stream. If you're on TikTok, do tap that screen. Let's get ourselves back up to 500,000 likes at least.
Ah, man. I swear to God, I feel like I would be a really good like middle school teacher. Molly, do you support Trump?
No, they took a screenshot as soon as they got on.
Rick, I know
Can you
that
guys
you're,
hear me?
yeah, I know that you're a Trump supporter. Go ahead and tell us why.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of just like the changes he's doing. Like I do like the tariffs. I think there are going to be some positive things. It is kind of in the open air whether or not how good it'll be or bad it'll be. But there's a lot of Bill Ackman, a lot of big stockbrokers out there that are big into it, and they see some positive things coming with it. So I don't know.
Wait,
I'm
who?
kind of excited about that.
Wait. Name a financial institution which has positive projections outlined via Trump's policy.
Yep, go for it.
Who's Yahoo News? Who does their?
Yahoo News just reposts other news articles from random people.
Well, they have like their big
Yahoo
spokesman.
News?
Yeah.
Also,
Yahoo News?
if you think that
It's
Yahoo,
diabolical.
if you think that Yahoo News is a reliable source, fun
But
fact,
not the Atlanta Fed.
The Yahoo News wrote.
It's gonna be on both sides.
Rec. Yahoo
ahead, sorry.
News wrote a 1,000-word article about how intelligent and influential I am. So if they're a reliable source, do you just really love me like they do?
I think you're pretty intelligent. Yeah. I'll agree.
Damn, consistency. I gotta give it to you. But no, what can you just name like a financial institution in which would have a positive prospect governed by Trump's policy?
An institution? Like, I don't know. What do you mean by that? I'm not like super big into politics.
Well, I mean, like this isn't even necessarily political. Like wealth management, like teams, like Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, stock brokerages, banks.
Bill Ackman, he's a hedge fund manager. I mean, he's pretty big.
I think that I want to see the reporting from a specific body or institution, not just one person.
Well, no, yeah, that's just the one I know about. Like, I'm not rich enough to have a bunch of money into stocks, to be honest. So I follow just a little bit with my little Schwab account I got. But I mean, there are a lot. I listen to what's his name?
I like, once again, I don't want names. I want like names of bodies. Like, for instance, J.P. Morgan says that there's a 70% chance that we're going to go into a recession in this fiscal year. Atlanta Fed is projecting a negative 4% recess in the American GDP in the first financial quarter of 2025. Goldman Sachs says that a recession is on the horizon. I want to talk about these institutions that are governed by fiduciaries in which overlook the funds of their investors and clients. I don't want to hear about like one dude. You know what I mean? Like when we actually start talking about these like financial institutions, they all have a very negative prospect of America's future and a very negative prospect of the consequences of Donald Trump's policy. Also, like, why are we stuck at 3.5? What the fuck is going on?
That's a good question. So with the tariffs, so what about NVIDIA just said that they're going to bring 500 billion of AI infrastructure into Texas over the next 4 years. So that's a pretty big thing. I mean, we're going to be able to produce more semiconductors and chips and all that stuff.
So for like semiconductor and chip production, we've seen a massive upsurge in investment in said manufacturing because of the Biden-Harris administration, particularly the CHIPS and Science Bill.
Yeah, I actually work for a company. We actually benefited from the CHIPS Act. So
yeah, and if you think that investment in manufacturing is a good thing, it was stagnant under Donald Trump's first term, soared the entirety of the last 4 years under Biden and Harris, and it's generally stagnated now under Trump's second term. So Kamala Harris was objectively better for manufacturing investment in American industries.
See, she might have been great. You know what I mean? I have nothing bad to say about her. I just don't think she had the push like Donald Trump does for people or for companies to make that happen.
No, it did happen. She did make it happen in the last 4 years.
Wait, what did she make? Maybe I missed your point. I'm sorry.
Investment in American manufacturing. It's never been better.
Okay, no, I meant more on the fact of bringing businesses back to the U.S.
Bringing more businesses into the U.S. Like I think that's like what subsidizing some corporations does. That's why we had more jobs offshored under Trump's first term compared to his second. Plus, right now, American businesses are suffering. The raw materials that it costs them to make their goods is significantly more expensive since we've started a trade war with the rest of the planet when we source a lot of our raw materials from the rest of the planet. And our exports are crippled because, well, now the rest of the planet is like, fuck America. We're going to tariff the fuck out of their goods like they are on ours. So I'd say that Donald Trump is actually very bad for American industries. And this is reflected in the recession on the horizon.
You think that's that's not for all industries. And also, I mean, he said there's 75 different countries that are willing to negotiate the tariffs that were in place, not the ones that we placed already, but
what is another country?
Yeah, but what are they negotiating? What are we getting out of this? What is the point of threatening them in order to be able to get them to the table in the first place? A lot of these people are our allies. You don't threaten your allies to get trade negotiations.
I agree with that one. I mean, like Canada that's a weird one to threaten. I agree. But a lot of them necessarily aren't. I mean, America, we think we love everybody. We act like that. But in the scheme of things, you know, we are behind on a lot of money. And so they have to come up with that money somehow. And so I think, you know, tariffing a country that tariffs us only seems logical, whether or not you're my friend or not.
Okay, we're not tariffing them proportionally to what they're tariffing us. We're not doing it in terms of targeted notions in which they're doing to us. And a lot of the tariffs that they said that they calculated from the countries that they put on us aren't even actually tariffs, right? They just lied to you.
Dude. Well, I think they already signed like 25 different deals, and they won't he doesn't want to say exactly what they all are yet. I mean, he's a businessman. He's got to keep that stuff kind of on the hush for the time being until he gets his plan aligned out. But I mean, he's not a
He sets it up so that he can do whatever move he wants to do. There are people that are going to, promote him doing the art of the deal. There are people that are going to defend him doing tariffs. No matter what Donald Trump does, he's got a pathway where his conspiracy voter base will believe whatever the fuck he says.
Maybe. I mean, to an extent, but also like he is crazy. Don't get me wrong, but he's also.
If you think he's doing the art of the deal right now, I'm sorry, but you're just so gullible. It's unbelievable.
But how do you know that? Like, you're going off of where's
how do we know
statistics
that?
State that rather than
Wait,
just
how do
your
we know
opinion.
that? It's because it's like whenever Donald Trump imposes policy, like imposes the tariffs, you're like, oh, dude, now this is going to drive manufacturing and great outcomes for a country. But then when he pulls them back, you're like, art of the deal. He opposes them again. Great move, President Trump. Pulls them back, art of the deal. Reimposes them, phenomenal move. Pulls them back, art of the deal. And on top of that, you've like contradictory like motivations that you've superimposed on the administration insofar as why they're doing these tariffs. Like when they were first imposed in Canada, apparently it was to get a better border bill, but that never materialized. In fact, then MAGA lied about stating that it got a border bill that was actually passed through the Canadian Parliament months before Donald Trump was inaugurated. Then you said it was to drive manufacturing back to America, but you're also saying that it's to get better trade agreements with other countries, but you can't do those two things at the same time. They're contradictory, so it's just garbled nonsense. I think that we just have a senile narcissist running our country that is essentially doing whatever he wants to do for no reason. Maybe his ultimate motivation is market manipulation and insider trading, and then you have millions of loyalists and millions of cultists all around the world that then try to superimpose their justification insofar why what he's doing is actually a good thing. I think that we most typically see this happen with religions, and this isn't just specific to Christianity, but all religions. Well, we'll see some type of illogical and discrepancies in the religious texts, maybe a couple contradictions, maybe a lack of historical evidence, and then you guys will just superimpose reasons why these seemingly illogical outcomes of these religions exist, why these seemingly bad outcomes of these religions exist. And you seem to be doing the same thing with Donald Trump's inauguration, presidency. Like, let me ask you, Donald Trump did repost a TikTok stating that he's intentionally crashing the stock market. Do you think that that's an ultimately indefensible action of Trump's, or do you think for some reason it was a good thing?
I actually don't know anything about that. What was the verbiage that he said? Because I know a lot of stuff can be taken out of proportion.
He said Trump is intentionally crashing the stock market. That's what the TikTok said that he reposted.
So, he reposted that. Like, okay. I don't know. Actually, I would have to look at it and actually see. But so why wouldn't he do that the first term? If that was the case and what he was doing, why wouldn't he do all that the first term?
Because he probably wanted to get a second term.
Yeah. He has more power seated in the second term.
I mean, do you think that
he claimed he wants a third one? How are you going to sit there and be like, yeah, we're just not going to take him seriously when he says all of this
I have a hard
authoritarian dictator-like shit?
I have a hard time believing that he's just nuts rather than like, you know what, he's been bankrupt, 9 times or something, but he became a billionaire every time.
Dude, can we play a game?
Bro.
Can we play a game?
Yeah, go ahead.
You saying it's impressive that he has 6 bankruptcies is actually fucking insane. You're in a cult. You are in a cult. You will say anything to glaze Trump. You will literally say anything.
Saying,
6 bankruptcies is not a flex.
I just want to play a game.
But to be a millionaire after every single one.
I just want to play a game.
Go ahead. Sorry, Dean.
He inherited hundreds of millions. Go for it.
I just want to play a game. So you said, well, you guys see him as so crazy, and you just think that's insane. Like, how could you see Trump as crazy? Here's a game, okay?
He's crazy.
I am now going to re-embody everything Trump has done in an undocumented migrant, and let's see what you think. All right. So I know of this undocumented migrant in America right now. Okay, this undocumented migrant tried to coup our government and change the outcome of a presidential election artificially. And this undocumented migrant has like a bunch of loyalists, a bunch of cultists, a bunch of supporters that will follow him until the end. And this undocumented migrant even like told his supporters that the Constitution needs to be abolished. Okay. And this is all after this undocumented migrant did a bunch of shit like tax fraud, then it pays taxes. He raped an American woman. He committed 34 felonies. Oh, and this undocumented migrant wants to take a bunch of money from poor people and then just give it all to the rich people. And this undocumented migrant for whatever reason, also has like billions of dollars. And this undocumented migrant wants to like imprison all of his political opponents that speak against him from the White House, from Congress. This undocumented migrant was ordered to leave our country by the Supreme Court, but he ignored that Supreme Court order, right? You would look at this undocumented migrant as a goddamn terrorist. Okay, but every single thing that I just said that this hypothetical undocumented migrant did is all things that Donald Trump has done. And when we point that out about him, you're like, how the fuck do you think that's crazy? Holy shit. Do you get my point?
No, I completely understand your point. I just, like I said, I mean, call it faith, I guess, but I just don't feel like he's doing all this in his own greed.
Trust me, bro.
The only ever time you use faith to justify your beliefs is those in the context of religious values, and this is why I say you're a member of a cult.
Well,
you
no.
look at him like a religious leader.
I'm not saying
you look at him
I'm
like
not like that kind of.
This is literally actually idolatry
But
under your
I
own
think
religion.
as a businessman, he has these things that he's not necessarily just going to say all of it out. I don't know, like
Name one good businessman with 6 bankruptcies other than Donald Trump under your view.
Dude, a lot of like major car dealerships have lots of bankruptcies.
Name one good businessman with 6 bankruptcies.
You want me to look it up?
Dude,
Go
I think
ahead.
that the push of the live is capped again. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it just needs more time. Hey, by the way, if you're watching and you like what you see and you'd like to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in the bio. Like 100% of the proceeds on this platform, so it go directly to benefiting me, allowing me
How many
to
does Walt Disney have?
essentially dedicate like 85% of my existence to focusing on this compared to going out and working a real job. So, yeah, if you do
real
support
job.
over on
Get a
Venmo
real
or PayPal, you'll also get a notification at the top of my phone screen where I'll be able to give you a shout out. And I also do read attached messages. Queen, thank you for the galaxy. That's very kind.
But okay, so what about just kind of go? I mean, it looks like there's a lot of people that have bankruptcies and multiples, but I don't see anywhere that shows me like just off a quick Google, like the exact amount. But Walt Disney looks like 3. That's getting up there.
Still not 6. No one has 6, huh?
Yeah, I agree. Is it 6? I didn't even know it's only 6.
But 6.
Yeah.
So what
Man,
about, okay, so
I don't even
what about the people
care.
he's
I don't
bringing
even
back from
care about
Russia?
the fact that he's a businessman. Do you want to know why?
What about the people? Let's just switch that because I think.
Can I tell you why I feel like
Absolutely.
but the argument, but he's a businessman, is just dog shit?
Sure.
Because the only reason his past business experience would matter is if he actually applied it to his economic policy that benefited our country. But he's not. His economic
I think
policy.
he will. I just don't think we know it all yet.
Dude, he intentionally crashed the stock market and we're barreling towards a recession. The Atlanta Fed, on the day of his inauguration, projected a 4% growth in the American GDP in this financial quarter of 2025. Now, a 4% recess. And that's on top of the fact that JP Morgan is saying that a recession will happen this year, meaning that will be multiple financial quarters. Consumer confidence is going down. The stock market is losing trillions. Future markets are in the shitter. Other countries are staying away. He is making our economy radioactive.
Still ahead,
It
though.
is on
We're
the
still
verge
ahead
of
than we've been.
exploding.
So it's going down, yes, but it's still ahead than it's been. So it's still in an up. Well, it's still in an uptrend if you look at over a decade. Yeah, what do you mean? Absolutely, we're still in an uptrend. So it goes down one year doesn't mean it's just going to collapse.
Sir, if we cut our GDP in half, we would still be ahead of where we were during the Great Depression, and I can make the same argument you are right
That's the Great Depression. That's not even close to what I was saying. You could look at it in the last 5 years, and it's still going to be okay. We're still up. You know what I mean? So it's okay to take a hit every once in a while, just like a company, a stock
now.
company.
So you think that a recession is okay?
No, I'm not saying a recession.
That
would
is
be
what
okay.
you're arguing. The hit that you're
No,
talking
it's not
about
gonna
is a
go
recession.
there.
Yes, the hit that you're talking about is a recession.
It's not going to go there, though.
They would never say this if Biden was in office. If Biden was in office and Biden was intentionally causing a recession, they would be screaming about his incompetence, about how weak he is as a president, and about how he's being taken advantage of by other countries that he's trying to quote unquote get on negotiations with. It's ridiculous that you guys apply all of these standards to Donald Trump, but yet you'd be unwilling to apply it to literally anyone other than him. You guys are literally that's what we call you guys cult members.
Yeah,
because
bro.
You never will apply the same standards that you apply to practically everyone else.
Yeah,
to
dude.
Donald Trump.
No, for real, Parker. Like Biden had a stutter and slipped on a staircase like once in like 2021, and I never heard the end of it for the next 3.5 fucking years. But
Dean, did you see the clip recently of JD Vance dropping the fucking trophy? Can you imagine if Joe Biden did that? That would be over all over X. It would be all over
bro.
Facebook. It'd be all over every
Impeached.
conservative page, right? That he's so weak and that he looks terrible to foreign leaders around the world because he dropped the fucking trophy.
Yeah, and then on top of that all, like, Donald Trump is also, like, literally deporting legal U.S. residents without due process or reason to spend, like, their lives in El Salvadorian jail with some of the worst qualities of lives on earth. And then when the Supreme Court is like, bro, he's innocent, get him out of there, they're like, nah.
Dean, Barack Obama wore a tan suit.
Ah! Oh, and
Dijon
Biden,
mustard. Dijon mustard.
And Biden
dude.
checked his watch.
He
at a
ordered
funeral.
Dijon mustard.
Biden
about
checked
other
his watch at a
things?
funeral too. Remember that?
So, you know, there's the
the
people
watch that
were
his
wrongfully detained in
that his
Russia.
son literally gave to him, who was a veteran who died. What's
What's that? Sorry, I didn't hear you. One more time.
Go ahead.
I didn't hear what you said.
It's okay.
Oh, I was just talking about, so like, you know, he's bringing back the hostages that were free or in Russia. He's freed the 10th one since he's taken office. So that's a good thing. He's talking with, I don't know, just a bunch of different countries about doing processes differently for the immigration for them to come into. So this is like a big thing for you guys. This is to help that process. And he is doing.
He's
just not
deporting
doing it.
American citizens.
There has been cases of that, but that's not exactly what he's doing. He's not just sitting here like, yeah, go. No, there's cases that have happened. Yes,
He's not bringing them back to the United States.
and I don't really know all into that, but I'm not talking about that either. I'm talking about how he's talking with Indian prime ministers in whatever. I'm just looking right here. It says on immigration, trade, energy, and
You know
artificial
what?
intelligence.
Actually, the more that I think about it, it is really fucking suspect that they're not able to bring him back to the country. Like, I'm just gonna be totally honest, it's really fucking suspect.
Oh, it is, bro.
Like, it makes me
What
think
are
he's
they?
not
So
fucking.
are they-
It honestly, like, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, makes me think he's probably not alive.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
were they-
wait. Also, wait. I have a question. Would you still support Trump if he like literally intentionally wanted to deport U.S. citizens?
So so a U.S. citizen, like literally all paperwork done,
Yep.
everything finalized.
Yep.
My girlfriend's Arab, and she's going through the process right now. So No,
actual.
I wouldn't.
You would stop supporting him. That would be your red line.
I guess depends on like what was there a mistake that happened?
No,
Like,
not a mistake. Intentionally doing this.
So how would that even explain to me how that would even happen? Like how would it be intentional? Like he couldn't just come to my house and he knocks on my door and be like, "Hey, you got to get out of here, or we're taking you back." I mean, like how is
If
it
he
intentional?
just answer my, if he intentionally wanted to deport U.S. citizens, would you still support him?
No, I don't think I would.
Donald Trump told us yesterday on a hot mic talking to the president of El Salvador that he intentionally wants to deport U.S. citizens that are imprisoned in America to rather be imprisoned in El Salvador.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that little but imprisoned. So for what reasons are they imprisoned here, and what reasons do we need to send them over there? I mean, that is debatable to me. Yeah, absolutely. If you're on, done some pretty crazy stuff, and our prisons are full, and whatever reasons, like if you got your citizenship and then all of a sudden you did all these crazy things, and yeah, maybe you should be able to get it
You see
revoked.
how he just said, no, I would never support that, and then immediately
But
right
he
after
did- he
supports
threw in a
it.
monkey wrench, dude. He said, like at the end of it, these prisoners.
Would you still? The prisoners are U.S. citizens. I did not change a damn
agree.
thing. But anyways, would you still support Donald Trump if he intentionally and willingly let violent cop beaters roam free on the streets of America, calling them patriots?
I know what you're talking about, January 26th or whatever it is. I don't really know too much about that whole thing, and I don't know if
So would you still support Trump if he willingly and intentionally
I'd
let
have to
violent
learn.
offenders that beat up cops roam free on the streets?
Because I can't remember because I thought there was a bunch of stuff on the side that like maybe it was all these.
Dude, answer my question.
I really can't. I don't know how to answer that one because I don't know the full story. If you just gave me those black and white on a piece of paper, no, I wouldn't like that. No, if you just gave me black and white on a piece of paper and that was it. But I know there's more to the story than just what you're saying.
What do you mean more to the story?
Oh gosh, I can't remember that much about that situation. But I remember. So why did he let him out? What is his reasoning? Do you know?
Because he
Like,
thinks they're patriots because they were doing what he told them to do.
But he didn't actually say for them to go in there. Like those weren't his verbatim words. I remember
That's a
that
completely
was-
other topic. The point is he just thinks they're patriots, thinks they're political prisoners.
And he pardoned people who pled guilty and admitted to violently assaulting police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah. How severe were the how bad were they hurt? I can't remember. all the
How
details about
bad
that.
were they? He drove a
Well, I
stun
mean, hey,
gun
you
into
gotta
the
think
neck
a
of
protest,
him.
A protest, bro. Like,
How
you gotta
bad?
think-
How bad were they abused? How
So-
bad were
so
they? How bad
DJ
were the cops assaulted?
So DJ
Dude, people get hurt during
Rodriguez.
protests,
So
dude,
so
especially
DJ
big
so
protests like
DJ
that. That's gonna
Rodriguez.
happen.
I'll clarify. Okay, murder is gonna happen. Does that mean that we should let all
Not
murderers
at a-
roam free?
not
Get the
at a
fuck out
protest.
of here.
What do you mean,
Anyways,
dude? Why you go so
murder's gonna.
extreme?
You're saying that because some people could beat up cops at a protest, therefore it's okay
No.
to beat up cops at a protest.
Not
Because some
necessarily beat
people
up,
murder
like-
in America, therefore it's okay to
Things
murder in
happen.
America. But anyways, so DJ Rodriguez started beating up a cop, got the cop to the ground, took a stun gun, and then started zapping him in the neck repeatedly. Then he was arrested. He pled guilty after the cop testified against him. He went to jail. Donald Trump called him a political prisoner and pardoned him, let him out of jail. So this is an example of Donald Trump willingly and intentionally pardoning a
pretty
violent
rough.
offender on January 6th, calling him a patriot of this country.
Hey, Dean, can you make me bigger quick?
So
You
I
said
don't-
that we need El Salvador for prison space. This is El Salvador on on a map of like Texas. This is Texas versus El Salvador. Okay.
Well, let me try the
Yeah.
other.
You saying that we need El Salvador for prison space is diabolical. It's fucking diabolical. Look at this. This is El Salvador versus just Texas.
What were those people charged with? Do you know why they got sent there? Like,
Kathleen, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo.
I was just
I do
curious if
really
you knew.
appreciate
I
you
don't
for the
know.
love.
I
If
don't know
everyone
anything
could please
about
show
it.
some love to Kathleen down below in the chat, that'd be phenomenal.
But you know,
No,
you know
I
what?
mean,
Like,
so he was just
no.
caught on a hot mic yesterday saying that it's something that he wants to do. We don't know exactly who he wants to deport. He just knows that he wants to deport some U.S. citizens in prison in America. Hey, Allie, you said that you were a supporter of Trump, right?
Yeah,
Okay, how old are you?
20,
What year were you born in?
2004.
Okay, I believe you. Why do you support Trump?
I just think he's really good for our country.
Like what aspect of our country is obviously bad for the economy, bad for human rights, bad for access to like public resources. So what is he good for?
Bad for great victims. He's bad for
Yeah.
our democracy. He's bad for the Constitution.
It's like what is he good
He's
for?
bad for people who just were, U.S. citizens accidentally deported,
Just
right?
what-
And then he doesn't bring back into the country.
Bad for
You know,
women?
I just think. Sorry, what were you saying?
I said bad for women.
No, I think he's really good for women, actually.
Explain how.
You know, I can't really give you like a specific reason.
So then give us a non-specific reason. Give us any reason at all.
Yeah, I would just love to hear it.
I just think he's really patriotic.
So he's patriotic,
benefiting
therefore he's
women?
good for women? Like, 'cause you said that he's really good for women. I want to know like specifically what he's done that has been really good for women.
He just has that energy, you know?
Okay,
Where
she's
he's-
trolling. She's trolling.
Allie, if I was a woman, I would be so fucking scared of Trump's energy.
You know, like he's better than like that Kumbaya Harris.
Ali, I have a question. Would you trust someone like Donald Trump with your child?
Yeah, because he's the president of our country.
You would trust someone held civilly liable of sexually abusing women, like sexually abusing a woman, to like be around your child?
Was there any proof
And you
of
said
that?
they would, and you said they would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. Yeah, a unanimous decision from an entire jury indicated that Donald Trump was liable for sexual abuse.
Okay, well, in 10 years, she would have been 20, so.
Wait, why is that justification to sexualize a 10-year-old?
Because he's not doing it yet.
Hey, Allie, I have a question. If
Okay,
it wasn't a
she's
10-year-old,
trolling.
but it was a
There's no way.
3-year-old, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to be dating this 3-year-old in 15 years," do you think that'd be okay?
Well, no, because you can't really be attracted to a 3-year-old.
But you can be attracted. Okay, you're getting off the live. 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 Goodbye.
Hey, Dean.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Why did you laugh at that? Hello. How old are you?
I'm 18, 2005.
Okay. Wait.
Math, not math. Math is not math.
No, I don't think you
Get
could
off.
be. I don't think
I
you
got
could
a
be.
late birthday,
The
bro.
math
What are you
is not.
talking
I promise you the math.
I got a
is
late
not math.
birthday.
Quinn,
No, it doesn't. You gaslighter.
If you were born in 2005 and you had a late birthday, you'd be 19 right now.
I wouldn't though. It's not my birthday yet.
Yes, you would be 20 on your birthday.
No.
Yes.
I'm still 18.
Quinn, guess
Dude,
what year?
shut up.
Guess
Dude,
what?
shut
Guess what
up.
year I was born in?
2005.
2004. And how old do you think I am?
19?
No, 20 turning 21. So how can I be 20 turning 21 born in 04, but you could be 18 turning 19 born in 05?
I mean, what if my birthday's on the last day of the year?
The math is
Then-
really
then you-
mathing,
then-
dude. MAGA math. MAGA math.
Then you
MAGA
would just
math?
be turning 20 on the last day of the year, the same way I'm turning 21 later in the year.
I mean, I guess I see your logic there, but
It's not logic.
I am
It's
18.
just addition. It's just it's
Yeah,
like-
that is logic, Dean.
it's
Actually,
like-
that is like literally logic. Actually,
it's like just third grade math.
third grade math, bro. Why you always coming at me? I just joined, bro.
Quinn, that's not even a diss. I'm actually not even lying. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not being extra. I'm not being
He's
crazy.
just gaslighting-
I'm just
yeah,
like
Dean,
literally
he's-
being real.
Dean, he's gaslighting you, bro.
Quinn, get out.
Dude. Bro, he's gaslighting like crazy. Christian, thank you for the $100 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Christian. With some W's for Christian in the comment section for the $100 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the kind message. I thank you so much. That is incredibly kind of you, Christian. And Timothy with the $50 on PayPal. Can we get some W's for Christian and Timothy in the comment section, as well as Linda with the $10. And Jillian, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much. W's for Christian, Linda, Timothy, and for Jelaine. Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all.
W's for Jelaine and Alzak as well, both with the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you guys. Sparky, what's up? You support Chomp?
No, I don't.
Hey. Sorry, I
Banned.
can't you, but banned. Moving on to the next
Banned.
guest. Okay, Morgan has evil eyes in her names. I have a feeling that she's not a Trump supporter. She's too granola for that. Morgan, don't tell me you're a Trump supporter.
I would really like to argue from a Trump supporter point of view.
How'd I know? How'd I know? How'd I know? How'd I know?
Jocelyn, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. I'm actually going to a trivia night later with my girlfriend, so that's gonna be fun.
Granola. A lot of people in the chat are like granola. I just when I see those emojis in the name, I'm like, oh, like they're granola. You know, they like nature and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's a baseless association. What's up, CL? Do you support Trump?
No, but I literally need advice for my family.
Oh, please join my Discord. I would happily either talk to you myself or have other people talk to you in there as well. All right. We're going to move on to the next guest. Here we go, everyone. Just go and just give us one moment. Quite frankly, if you're watching the live right now and you support the president, please let me know in the chat and I'll pull you up here. What we're seeing right now is not a lot of Trump supporters are actually willing to come up here and have a debate. And quite frankly,
They're scared.
They're
quite
very
frankly.
scared. And that's the
Oh,
truth.
it's a troll. We've had him on a million times.
Hello.
Oh, I just accidentally followed you.
Oh, good job.
Goodbye.
Later, bud.
All right, guys, just looking for the next guest. I guess we got Seth loading up. And hey, Stephanie, thank you for the $2 over on PayPal. And yo, Aurora with the $15 over on Venmo. I want to see everybody show some love to Aurora down below in the comment section saying, thank you, Dean. You've had such an impact on me, and I hope to do something as great as you. Aurora, I bet you are, and I bet you will. Thank you so much for the love, Aurora. Everybody, please show some love to Aurora down below in that chat. And
Dean, the algorithm is amazing on this account.
I know, right? It's beautiful. Mr. Seth, do you support Trump?
No.
Then
Bye.
please don't join my queue. But I do appreciate you, and I hope that you have a good rest of the day. We are just only looking. How many times? Let's just do like a quick little game. The closest to the correct answer gets a chocolate bar. How many times per day do you guys think I say only join in the queue if you're a Trump supporter? Hello, Mr.
I'd probably say 20,000.
Yeah, definitely a lot. Definitely way more times than I should. I feel like it repeats in my head when I'm like going to bed. You know, I don't know. Just
Someone put in my YouTube chat, beta male soy boy leftist cook. Yo,
you should make that your bio, bro.
Cruz, please send a guest request.
You should make that
here on YouTube, and I will add you up.
You should make that your bio. Jessica, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I do really appreciate you for the love, Jessica. What's going on, Tuda? Do you support Trump? Quite frankly, we're going to go to countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, and goodbye. Moving on. Guys, where are the Trump supporters? Where are the Trump supporters? Where are the Trump supporters? Maybe this is a Trump supporter. Quite frankly. Hello, do you support Trump?
Hello, can you see me? Yes. Hold on. Let me turn my camera on.
Are you like speaking to us through a Bluetooth mic? Yes.
Oh, there you go. No, there you go. You can finally see me. I'm at work right now. Here we go.
Disconnect.
I have
Disconnect the headphones. Turn your Bluetooth
Okay.
off. The mic will be a lot better.
Okay.
You have to just completely disconnect them though. Like completely turn your Bluetooth off. And he died.
The mic. Oh,
Can you hear me
chat.
now?
Yes, I can. I can hear you
Yeah.
significantly better.
Let me close this door over here. It's kind of noisy over here.
It is noisy over there.
And Jessica, think of the
Hi,
$5 on
everybody.
Venmo.
Can you guys see me? My name's Thiago Ribeiro. I am a Trump supporter. I want to start with you guys. Why is it that you guys don't like Trump? Let's just start there.
Yeah, well, I got you. He was you wanna go?
No, go for it.
Oh yeah, well he was held civilly liable of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will. He bragged about walking the changing rooms of girls in Miss Teen USA because he quote unquote owns the place to inspect them without their consent. He undermines the Constitution, our democracy, the rule of law, right? Our court system, right? Basically everything we see is foundational to like being an American. He's literally deporting people who are here illegally. Yeah, he's pretty insane.
Okay, so this is my point of view, right? I think that the way that Trump is right now is just based off the things that happened in the past. When his first term come around, he didn't really get a chance to do much because we did have the COVID, and then after COVID, we did have George Floyd happen, you know, that triggered the whole world. Now in this term, I do agree with a lot of other things that he's doing. I just don't agree how he's doing. Just hold on, right? I don't agree that he's deporting people that are legally, he's trying to undermine the court system. He's trying to be sneaky about it. Nobody agrees with it. The whole gay thing too, like let them live. The bathroom thing is weird, Maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no. I live in New Jersey. In New Jersey, we did have a couple of rape cases
We can't talk about tea issues on the live. TikTok will take us both down.
I'm sorry, what is it? Can you repeat that?
We cannot talk about tea issues on the live. TikTok will take us both down. But if you're curious,
Oh,
on
I'm sorry.
position is,
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
allowing tea women to use a women's restroom actually makes a women's restroom safer for all women.
Well, I don't want to go there because, like you said, we just had a great case over here in New Jersey, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Let me see if I can find a way to word this position without getting taken down.
See if you can find it.
No,
I was in jail, I believe.
No. Just real quick. Let me try to find a way to word this position. That I don't think we'll get the live ban. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna refer to.
Juice box.
No. We're gonna refer to T women as T-shirt women, and we're gonna refer to T men as T-shirt men. Okay.
Okay. T-shirt man, T-shirt women. Got it.
Okay. So the deal is if you just let me speak here and make an argument real quick.
Go ahead.
Great. So if we were to segregate the restrooms on the basis of sex, saying males use men, females use women, the big issue with that is then T-shirt men would be using the women's restroom as their biological females, right? And the big issue here is T-shirt men can look either identical to cis men or more masculine than cis men. Testosterone has a crazy effect on any human body, regardless of which puberty said body underwent, and regardless of if it's a male or a female. So the issue with this is, when we segregate on the basis of sex, T-shirt men are using women's restroom, compared to if we were to segregate on the basis of gender identity, where T-shirt women use women's restroom, we will have less masculine presenting individuals using the women's restroom under the view in which would allow T-shirt women to use said space, making it less likely for a cis men to enter into the space and take advantage of those within the space. Okay? So in other words, the women's restroom is safer for more masculine presenting individuals using the safer from cis men if we segregate on the basis of gender identity.
See, I just gotta say, based off what I've seen, here in New Jersey, we love everybody. Everybody gets along really great. I love my state. But unfortunately, we just didn't have that luck. I think that what you're saying is a really good point of view if it's in a perfect world. But there's a lot of people out there. You see a lot of weirdos on the internet that just likes to take advantage of the system.
My argument perfectly accounted for this. More cis men will quote unquote take advantage of the system if we segregate the restrooms on the basis of sex, because then more masculine presenting individuals will be allowed in the space.
Yeah, they won't have to change their presentation to assault people.
See, like in Jersey, what we did is most places that you go is just a family bathroom. It's just a one person bathroom from now on.
Yeah, are you okay with that?
I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me, you know. Like, it is what it is, because it helps the situation where some people want a privacy, you know, like they don't want to share a bathroom. Like me, I don't like sharing with anybody. I don't like sharing bathrooms. And people, the t-shirt men and t-shirt women.
Hey, sir, I'm just going to ask you, I don't want to spend any time on this conversation that isn't very optimized with me giving my argument and you refuting it. Do you have a direct refutation of the position that I shared, or do you not have a direct refutation of the position that I
do not have a direct refutation when it comes to t-shirt men and women.
So then I bet it's a better idea just to kind of move on to other topics so we don't risk the live getting taken down.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so like I said, I do agree with a lot of the things are doing, like Doge, for example. Trump finding out there's a lot of baggage in the government, a lot of stuff that's possibly very fake. You know, I'm not saying that it's not, because I don't like how they do things. I think how they do things is a little bit aggressive, and they kind of try to show people, hey, I'm in power and there's nothing you can do about it. But I don't. But I do agree with a lot of the things. Well, the immigration thing is obviously I don't agree with, because it's crazy. You know, he messed up and he doesn't want to take the hit for it, so he's just fighting everybody.
So in like 3 sentences or less, what is one reason why Donald Trump was a better presidential candidate than Harris?
I can't say he's a better candidate president than Harris, but he's definitely a better president than Joe Biden.
Okay, so if Harris was a better candidate than him, why didn't you vote for her?
I don't think she's a better candidate than Trump, because...
What? So you don't think Trump was better than her, and you don't think that she was better than him?
My opinion is because she spends too much money, and my way of thinking aligns a lot with the way Trump likes to see things. The way the money spending. I guess it might be an age thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
You said that she wanted to spend more. You said that she wanted to spend more money.
Yeah, like in the government itself.
So
it seems like she's just spent too much money. Go ahead. Yes.
The Biden-Harris administration spent half of what Trump spent. So according to the CRBF, which is the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, the Trump administration spent $8.6 trillion. Meanwhile, the Biden-Harris administration only spent $4.6 trillion. So that was in the last 2 administrations.
That's crazy money right
And then
there.
actually looking at the proposed policy of each candidate, Donald Trump's proposed policy is like what? $10 trillion more expensive than her proposed policy? If you wanted to vote for the candidate that was better for government expenditure, you should have voted for Kamala Harris.
I see, like, that's where we're going to have to agree to disagree.
But I have sources, you don't. I have evidence,
Okay,
you
no,
don't.
you could
I have
be right.
agencies, you don't.
I'm
What's
not
your
saying
basis
that-
for making the claim that her proposed policy was more expensive than Trump's?
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying you're wrong in any way. All I'm saying is this. I guess when you get to a certain age, you know, I was a Democrat my whole life. I just became a Republican with Trump. I was the whole life. What made me change was Biden, 100%. You know, like, people, to me, Biden.
Wait, please don't
advantage of
pivot
Biden.
and change the conversation. You made the claim that you voted against Kamala Harris because she
did.
wanted to spend a lot of money, but I gave you an insurmountable amount of evidence to demonstrate that her policy was less expensive. I gave you a source from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, as well as you can look at the sources indicated by the CBO in the vice presidential debates, where even the moderator said that Donald Trump's economic policy was 3 times more expensive than Harris's, and then J.D. Vance accepted it. I mean, it is a unilateral, undeniable fact that the policy Donald Trump is implementing today that he ran on prior to the election was significantly more expensive and more wasteful than Kamala Harris's.
So this is just, you know, you threw a lot of information at me. There's no really way of me actually fact checking you right now to see if, you know, what you're saying is true. You know, I'm just telling you why I like Trump. Why
do you think that Harris wanted to spend more than him? Genuine question.
I don't have it on top of my mind right now. I stopped looking at this, at the politics a while ago. Some of the things that just really pissed me off that made me switch over from Democrats to Republicans and why I
Real
voted
quick,
for
I
Trump.
just want to stay on this one subject. I know
Okay,
I
go
know
ahead.
that I keep like being like super hyper fixated on this one thing, and like you're trying to bring up other things, and I keep just guiding you back. I apologize for that. I just think
It's
it's
okay.
really
It's okay. So
like-
you want to
so
talk
I,
about
so I
the
just,
money?
I just want to clarify. So so just be honest. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you be honest with me, okay?
Go ahead. Yeah, of course.
You don't really have any real evidence that Kamala Harris was worse for government expenditure outside of
I
vibes.
the only evidence that I have is what I see on TikTok and what I see on TV. That's it. I did no research whatsoever.
Right, and I feel like
So this is just based off my opinion, why I voted for Trump, why my beliefs align with his beliefs. Like that girl in Georgia that got killed by that crazy ass guy, the Venezuelan gangs all over here, and you look at me. I wasn't born in the United States, and
Dean.
I came
Oh
here
my
as an
God!
immigrant.
I need to stop the whole live. Hold up.
So, hold on.
Dean.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Hold up, Dean. Hunter is no longer MAGA.
Really?
Who's Hunter?
Yeah, that Hunter.
What is he now?
He's like, I'm out of the cult. He literally believes it's a cult now.
I'd be careful. I think it's possible he's just grifting, kind of like that
You
one
think
guy.
so?
HVAC. Remember him?
I mean, I thought so. I don't think he's like that as much.
I don't know, man. HVAC, he was full MAGA, then he was like full libbed out, and he turned out just to be a grifter. We'll have to look into him a little bit though. That'd be cool.
No, I mean that might be true, but I'm just saying, bro. Like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, that is crazy. He was like Trump's biggest writer. Yo, Kay, thank you for the 31 Australian dollars
So what do you
over
guys-
on
okay, so the
YouTube
comment section,
Super
what do you
Chat.
guys think?
No, Hunter. He's a guy from TikTok. Everyone.
You for the love, Kay. Everybody, please show some love to Kay down below in the chat for the 31 Australian dollars. Kay says, crazy that this guy thinks the thing stopping men from going into women's restroom to hurt them is a sign. I really want to do something horrible, but damn, there's a sign. So fucking real, Kay. Dude, thank you so much for the love, as well as the common sense position. As well as Angel, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Angel. Everyone, please show some love to Angel down below in that chat. Then with the $5 as well. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal on the link tree in the bio. But anyways, wait 1 second. How do I pronounce your name?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
How do I pronounce your name?
Thiago. Just don't say the H. Thiago.
Thiago. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thiago, is there anything else that you want to go over here before we move
I
on
just
to the
want to
next
say
guest?
just one more thing and I'm out, right?
Okay.
When I came to America 20 years, more than 20 years ago, things were very different, like us immigrants, we had to behave, we had to, we had a certain steps to take. And when you're going to, and I kind of agree with Trump when it comes to, you go to somebody else's country, you got to respect it. You gotta,
But then he just bombs and ethnically cleanses the Gaza Strip. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
You're talking about the Palestinian thing too is messed up too.
Yeah, but
Israel is they're
Thiago,
dicks.
I do appreciate you for coming up at this point. We are going to move on, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day, man.
Take care.
What's going on, Katie? Do you support Trump?
Of course I don't support Trump. I didn't mean to.
No worries at all, Katie. We're going to go to move on. If you're one of the 7.1 thousand people watching and you do support the president, let us know in that comment section. We'll try to get you up here for a conversation. Let's go to get that next guest up the box. And oh my God, Kristen, thank you so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen says, my 12-year-old Mason loves you and had his induction into National Junior Honor Society last night. He's neurodivergent and has come far and is in AP classes now. AP classes at 12? Oh my gosh. Thank you for always being such a good role model for him. Kristen, your son is the real deal. Tell Mason that he is doing significantly better than I was at his age and that he has a very, very bright future. Shout out Mason. Shout out Kristen. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much for the $20 donation. What is going on, Daddy? Do you support Trump?
I'm sorry. I made that name a really long time ago. Hi, Dean. I love watching you. My boyfriend wants to debate with you, so here you go.
Is he a Trump supporter?
Yes, I don't fully support Trump and not everything about him, but I would support him more than Kamala.
I'm so happy
that?
that turned out to be a woman.
What?
Nothing.
Oh my gosh,
Go
this
ahead.
is so exciting. Sorry. I love watching your stuff, Dean. Anyway, okay, yeah, sorry. Begin.
Yeah. So like, why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
So I actually didn't vote. I'm not an American. I'm a Canadian. But I would have voted for him. I want to ask you, why would you prefer Kamala over Trump? And you talk fast, so talk slowly so we can debate on each point in comparison. Because I'm just curious.
Donald Trump was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, forcefully penetrating her against her will. He sent false slates of electors to the Electoral College to cast Trump votes when he didn't win to try to steal the election.
When was
he
that?
did not win in 2020.
That was his first campaign?
Yeah. Or no, second one. Third, actually. He ran in 2000.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Okay, continue.
He also, I mean, those are some pretty big things, but he also advocates for tax policy that would cut taxes on rich people while increasing taxes on low and middle income individuals, because he's replacing income tax or levels of income tax with tariffs, which are regressive, whereas income tax is progressive, meaning people who are making more income disproportionately pay more.
But isn't his current movement on taxes the opposite? How he's
I'm gonna
trying
interject here just for
to,
a
correct
second.
me if I'm wrong, if he's trying to remove he's trying to reduce income tax for people within the middle class. He's trying to make affordability with vehicles, for example, the $10,000 Toyota. He's trying to keep that at that price for the working class our
What is
age.
this guy? What do you know?
Hey, I'm gonna
Where did you
interject
see this?
just here for a second. I want to thank two people. Say one thing, then I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. Isabella, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Brian, thank you for the $1, and then also Katharina, thank you for the $20 on PayPal, and Tristan with a 15 as well. Guys, can we get 500 W's for Katharina and 500 W's for Tristan for the 15 and the $20? Thank you guys so much. Katharina didn't add a message, but 5 big booms. Let's go. Tristan did add a message just saying thank you for everything that you do. Give him hell. Tristan, that is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the kind words, as well as the donation that goes farther than you know. Thank you so much for the love. Now, I'm gonna say one thing to you, Daddy's boyfriend.
I actually made that in grade 7, so yeah.
I need to stop trolling. About what you said. So you
Dog
said that,
mom, thank you so much. Oh, sorry.
you specifically said that Donald Trump is gonna make like cars more affordable for Americans. That is
No, just one specific vehicle, and he's removing the tax on overtime.
okay. So you're saying that he's gonna make one specific vehicle more affordable. I don't see.
That's what I've read so far. I haven't looked too deep into it. It's like a specific Toyota pickup truck they're doing.
Is it the electric one?
I have no clue.
I mean, maybe you could provide more information to me about that. We'd be willing to respond. But how about I say this? Let's accept that you're telling the truth. He's going to make one specific vehicle more affordable. Well, for like the rest of the market, he's going to make them less affordable. Like for instance, all Ford's F-Series trucks significantly more expensive. They make their engines in Canada. And automotive industries that are sold in U.S. markets get a lot of steel from Mexico, and they import the raw materials to actually build these things that they do make in the U.S. from other countries. So, I mean, that's for you to consider. New cars are going to get more expensive. Less cars will be produced here, are available in the U.S. market, meaning all cars will be more expensive. So that's a good thing for your consideration.
Are you saying that
Then
because
about
of
tax
the
cuts for the, what's that?
Are you saying that because of the tariffs that are put in place right now?
Yeah.
But didn't a lot of automotive companies start moving into the States, saying they're going to start manufacturing there?
No.
That doesn't even mean that prices are going to be cheaper. Prices are going to be more expensive, even if that's true.
But
I understand that, but it's going to
plus, you know that like we're tariffing materials that are going to be used in the manufacturing of those cars, right?
Yeah. Then also like a lot of the investments that we've seen, like I saw like one person claim that Hyundai was moving more of their production into America. Because of Trump's tariffs. But then I just did like 5 minutes of research, and I've seen that that's actually been a growing, emerging industry for them for like the last 25 years. And essentially every 2 to 5 years, they've invested more and more and more into their American production plants. So, I mean, it's just been a continuing
$20 billion investment.
It's just continued over the last 25 years. And it's been an emerging market for them, and it's been successful, just another American company excelling. But that has nothing to do with Donald Trump's tariffs. Then also, Darcy, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. And I'm going to be right back. I'm going to pass the mic to you, Parker, and I'm going to go use the restroom.
For sure.
See you soon.
Linda, think of the $10, and Jessica, think of the $5. Go for it.
Also, another fact why I would is because of the whole LGBT movement. I wasn't very fond of that and in the direction it was heading. I know TikTok has some guidelines. Can you explain what I can and cannot talk about?
You can't refer to anything about T issues, but like, do you think that like people are pushing being gay on children?
Yeah, so I think there was a bigger
How's that?
push on the movement towards children, like incorporating drag into elementary schools. I think that's very, in my opinion, damaging for children that are at a very impressionable age.
How is it? How is saying it's okay to be gay damaging to children?
So it's
And there's never been like a widespread like incorporation of drag into every elementary.
I never said that. So it's the movement of encouraging, or not encouraging, but allowing children to make autonomous decisions for their body at such a young age. So something like that should.
Do you think children should be able to choose the food they eat?
Sure, but
Well, sort of.
I mean, it also depends. Like
to some degree, right?
A Fruit Loop diet for the rest of their,
Yeah, obviously within like obviously what will allow them to continue, right?
Sure.
But like they're gonna be like if they want to eat a certain cookie at a certain time, and they say right are healthy enough, right? You would let them do that, make that choice, correct?
Sure. Would you allow a 6-year-old to get a tattoo?
Okay. So you're talking about like a permanent thing. You would just do like the temporary type ones you did as kids. Like, I got like these temporary little like nightly type things as a kid.
I don't understand.
Just like temporary tattoos.
Yeah, temporary little tattoos you put on
Sure,
yourself. They
but
didn't
if-
stay on. They'd wash off when you'd shower.
Sure, but if we're not allowing children to be able to tattoo themselves, be able to drive, be able to vote, be able to drink, why should
we understand that like
allow
you need
them-
some rational capacity to do that.
Sure. So why should we allow them, the children,
Welcome back, Dean.
to be able to do what they want with their body?
In what context? Like, what are you referencing?
I don't want to get too deep because I don't want to make any issues on TikTok, but I'll just say the word chopping, if that makes sense.
So I literally told you we can't talk about T issues on the live, and you're specifically like referencing that. Also, like I guarantee you think circumcision should be legal. Watch this.
Also, I also like to say like I don't
Well, what's
think
it-
I don't
wait, hold
think
on,
that
hold on.
like
Let's
I don't think that a
figure this out.
minor should be able to
Circumcision
undergo
illegal?
sex reassignment.
Yeah, no one's claiming that. Yeah.
Surgery.
But what are you talking about for that?
Do you believe that circumcision should be illegal?
Illegal?
Yeah.
No.
No. Why would I think that?
Isn't that genital mutilation?
No, not really. There's some benefits to it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you define genital mutilation?
Well, actually,
literally chopping off all of it.
I've had this debate.
6 years old.
I've had this debate before, and I've argued for circumcision as well. I kind of got stomped on. Turns out the facts weren't on my side, and that typically circumcision is worse for.
Yeah, I
overall
actually
health.
learned about that recently too, and how it can actually sometimes be like there's like micro traumas that can happen in a person's life, and that can actually be like a trauma, which is really interesting. But
Yeah, but let's completely move off of this topic because I don't want my life to get taken down.
Yeah, for sure. But that was probably my biggest issue.
What?
On some of the things that not circumcision. That's not a big deal.
Like T women in women's sports.
Yeah, I
Donald
don't
Trump has
think-
been accused by rape by more women than there's T women in women's
Okay,
sports.
so that doesn't even have to do with the topic. The topic
How
is
would that be the
women
biggest
in sports.
issue you voted for?
So if you think biological
Wait, stop. Like I said, we can't fucking. I don't know why you keep going back to this.
Yeah,
We can't-
Okay, so
we can't talk about it. But the fact of the matter is, there's
let's move on
13
to
T
the
women
topic
inside of the NCAA. Donald Trump has been accused of rape by more women than there is T women inside of the NCAA. And like, I just think it's insane how all of MAGA has demonized 0.01% of the American population that doesn't hurt, harm, or affect you in the fucking slightest. But yet because we had the Republicans spend $250 billion on getting people to be transphobic in the last 4 years, and it was actually the third largest sector in which Republicans spent their funding on for propaganda, dude. Like, the tactics of MAGA is to make you fearful of people, so you support their movement.
afraid of
Donald
them.
Trump has done this against T women. Donald Trump has done this against undocumented migrants. Donald Trump has just done this against migrants in general. Donald Trump has done this against individuals that don't speak English as their first language. Donald Trump has done this against people overseas, and it is the tactic that he is using to get you to support him. He's done this with Democrats. That's why he has a snarky little nickname for every single political opponent he has, saying that Democrats are communists, that are part of some deep state that want to disrupt and destroy the progression of our country. And these are all reasons why you support him, why millions of other Americans support him. And it's not only harmful to the people that he's demonizing and dehumanizing, but it's just that. It's propaganda. It's a fear tactic to get you to be a part of a movement that you shouldn't be a part of.
Okay, there was a lot to unpack there. If you want, we can go deeper into it, or we can move on to a different topic. It's up to you, like immigration, for instance.
Sure.
Okay, so another thing would be the immigration that's going on. From my understanding, and please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. From what I'm aware of, last term for Biden, before he was ending, there was thousands of undocumented illegals coming into the country per day, and ever since Trump took office, it's lowered down to 100. Sure, illegal immigrants might be good for the country; they can help with certain sectors, but the principle is that they're illegal. They went
Sir,
through.
I have a question. Are you in America right now?
No.
No, so you guys are both Canadian?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm like, wait, why do you care about immigration in the United States?
Because it's happening in Canada as well.
Okay, well, I just want to let you know immigration is beneficial to the economy, right?
Sure,
Like, if you're talking
but
about
not
undocumented
illegal
immigration, well, we want to make more legal in the country. We want the system to go faster. Right now in the United States, it takes 5 to 7 years on average.
But illegal immigration is still illegal.
Yeah, and I think that it's an issue that needs to be fixed. I actually agree with you.
Sure.
Wow.
No,
Look at that middle ground. But I think that I've been a
Not
little bit.
a lot of people say that, because everybody that I know
wait,
just
can
says
I-
illegal
Wait,
immigrants
can
should
I-
be-
I wanted to ask him how he feels about like the U.S. annexing Canada, but I'll do it after.
Yeah, because
No, go ahead.
well, no, because I want to flesh out my views there.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that undocumented migration into America is a problem, and I think the fact that there's millions of undocumented migrants in America is a problem.
Mhm.
Do you want to hear my solution?
Sure.
Or like why I think they're a problem?
Sure.
I think the issue of undocumented migration into America is a problem is because of what causes it. What causes it is neglected, depraved, slow, expensive legal means of entry. What causes it is a Congress who uses the inflow of undocumented migrants into America as a political pawn, a talking point to get people to support one side or the other. That's why
Sure,
Donald
but it
Trump
also benefits-
has never, ever suggested any long-term solution to reduce undocumented migration into America. Second part, I said that I
Hasn't
think
he
it's a
done it?
problem that there is millions of undocumented migrants in America today. I do. What's the solution to this problem? To give every single one of them that has not committed a violent crime a pathway to residency or citizenship, so we know who they are, they're documented, they've been screened, as well as they have all the necessities to get a driver's license or work with an SSN, meaning they'll be more likely in getting higher wages, more likely in getting paid over the table and pay more taxes, and more likely to be safe drivers on the road.
So what does that do for the actual American citizens that are trying to get jobs but are now competing against millions of undocumented migrants?
Well, I think this is the cute part, because now you're acting as if people getting jobs in our economy, which means they have money to spend in the economy, and which means they pay money to the IRS in the sense of taxation, is a bad thing. No, that strengthens American manufacturing, that strengthens the economy, increases the GDP. It gives our government more money to spend on us. It increases average qualities of lives. But if you think that it's a problem because it means that there's more people in the labor force, more competition for jobs, well, all of a sudden, this isn't just a counterargument against giving undocumented migrants a pathway to residency or citizenship. This is a counterargument against legal migration as a whole.
Well, I think
and it's a counter argument against being against abortion, because like it is the case that like if there are more people who are citizens in the country, there's
Why are
more
we in this
competition
topic?
for the prior citizens.
Why are we in this topic? We're talking about immigration. We don't have to talk about abortion right now.
Jesus Christ, they don't even understand like context at all. What was the reason I brought it up?
Repeat it again. Sorry, I was just
Less American citizens, right? There would be less competition
for abortion. Is it
Jesus.
like
Oh my god, dude.
Sabrina, thank you for the 14 Canadian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you for the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Less people have kids, meaning less population, meaning for the people who are already citizens, less competition.
Yeah,
Because less people in the labor force.
Yeah,
like throughout the whole world.
Oh, which is also another good reason for more immigration.
Exactly.
How does that differentiate anything? If
What?
it's immigrants
Repeat
in
that.
Mexico or immigrants in America, they're still going to have kids.
I don't know what you're saying. Maybe you find a
Well,
different way to say it.
No. Here, let me explain. Let me explain why, like, just because there's quote unquote more people in the country or more competition in the country, that's not really like a good way of framing it. Because more people in the country not only means more supply in terms of like more people who are looking for jobs, but it also means more demand, right? And if there's more demand, well, then businesses can create more, right, jobs, correct?
And also, it's worth pointing out that competition breeds innovation, and the way that innovation is clear in a labor force is through like higher skilled labor, higher skilled laborers.
I don't disagree with that. But I also don't think that giving all of the illegal immigrants that are there now citizenship, I think they should go back to their country of origin and then
But you
go
don't have
through
any
the
good reasons to suggest that.
But there should be an increase in funding.
Wait, I just want to ask you a question. How does it help? How does it help America?
That's not the point. It's actually getting the illegal
Exactly, bro. That's why I say that this is an American lost policy that is fundamentally rooted in bigotry, racism, and xenophobia because it only hurts our country and only hurts them.
Anything to do with that?
No, the reason I say it does.
Following a process.
The reason I say it does. Listen. The reason I say it does. That is fundamentally rooted in racism, bigotry, and xenophobia is because it only hurts our country, it only hurts the people in our country, and only hurts the migrants being deported. Okay? Offering them a pathway to residency or citizenship clears on all fronts. Clears on the fronts of economics, clears on the front of American industries and predominance on global production, clears on the front of more government revenue, giving our government more money to spend on keeping us safe, keeping us secure, keeping us happy, and clears on the front of breeding the most powerful, strengthened, and biggest economy in the world, right? The only front in which mass deportation wins on is getting people out of our country who you don't think should be here because they don't speak the same language, or you have a different skin color, or other material actualizations of bigotry, racism, and xenophobia, etc. That's like, unless you could. I don't want just to say you're a bigoted, racist, xenophobic person. I will now give you the mic to tell me why I'm wrong by indicating to me at least one reason why mass deportation is better for this country than mass amnesty.
So personally, I don't care the skin tone. That's literally not a factor. That will never be a factor for me. I think regardless if you're a white immigrant or a black illegal immigrant, if you're a white illegal immigrant, you're still an illegal immigrant. It doesn't matter your skin tone. So we can take that out of the question.
So then name a good reason. Name one way that mass deportation is better for America or the American economy than mass amnesty. I just want to know one way that helps.
It's about following the policy that's written in the American Constitution.
But wait, the American Constitution, what?
Following actual laws that are written.
Following laws.
Wait, Donald Trump advocated determining all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. If you cared about who's more pro-Constitution, you wouldn't have supported Trump.
That is a little bit of a different subject. Do you mind if we just finish fleshing out this before we get into like being pro or anti-Constitution? So basically you're saying that the reason you support mass deportation is because you want to follow the laws, provisions, and the laws and the provisions laid out by a federal government, right?
I just believe it's a good idea for people to follow the actual process of documented immigration.
Do you want to know the kicker for this argument?
I do.
Do you want to know the defeater? What just throws it in the mud?
Sure.
Would you agree that the only reason legislation and rule of law exists in America or any country on the face of planet Earth is hopefully because the legislation makes the average qualities of life in said area go up?
Sorry, repeat that?
Yeah.
Would you say the reason why legislation exists anywhere is hopefully just to make life better for people?
Well, that's the point of it, yeah.
Okay, so if legislation makes life worse for people, we should get rid of it.
I don't think we should get rid of it. We should tweak it.
We should tweak it and change it.
So, for instance,
okay, that's fair. Now allow me to finish speaking.
It's like 400 years old.
So allow me to finish speaking. So now that we understand the point of legislation is to make life better for people, and if legislation actually just makes life worse for people, we should get rid of it. Well, guess what? The current legislation that is in place in America of deporting undocumented migrants and Donald Trump's regime of attempting to deport every single undocumented migrant in America just makes life worse for people. We should, as you said, revise it, tweak it, update it, and grant amnesty to every single undocumented migrant in America that has not committed prior violent offenses, as it only makes life better for people. And I've already detailed to you exactly how it makes life better for people, meaning you're currently arguing a position that we should intentionally and willfully make life worse for people. Okay? And if you don't want to die on the hill that you're arguing that we should willfully and intentionally make life worse for people, you have to explain to me how mass deportation makes life better for people.
So you're saying me as a Canadian, if I were to just come down to the States, I should be granted citizenship easier? Like
you should be granted citizenship with the same process as everyone else.
So that's what it should be. We shouldn't be
Wait, but you understand that like we want the process for everyone else to be quick too. So it'd be quick for you as well.
Yeah. Again, I understand that. I think that should be there. You know, if there is,
so you just conceded a mass amnesty.
But sure, but I just disagree with the amount of illegal immigration and just allowing it and giving citizenship to those who are already there.
Name one good reason why.
Go back and reapply.
Name one good reason why.
Could I say something? I just have a question about this. I don't know a ton about this, but this is just from what I've heard. So wasn't there a big problem with the illegal immigration because like people were being let into the country, and couldn't that affect the election because like people were being let in and then
because undocumented immigrants cannot vote.
But in one of the, correct me if I'm wrong again, but this is one of, wasn't it illegal to ask for identification?
I live in California, and in order to register to vote, you had to have identification.
Oh, okay. So sorry, that was just something I heard. I wasn't sure if it was true. I'm not sure which state it was, but I just heard that it was like illegal to ask for identification. I don't remember where this was, but
so in order to vote, you have to be registered. In order to register, you have to have a social security number. So every single valid vote in America is backed by a social security number. Only citizens have social security numbers.
Got it. Okay. So that was just false information.
But only 36 states have laws requiring people to show ID. Is that not correct?
Again, you're talking about on top of the registering.
Yeah.
In order for them to be able to vote in the first place, they have to register.
Yeah.
In order to register, they had to have that in the first place.
Yeah. So they're not required to show ID, but they are required to register and provide said information when voting, meaning that every single vote casted in our country is linked to a social security number.
Got it. Okay.
I'd have to do more research on that.
I was just wondering because you kept on asking for a reason, and I just thought maybe that was the reason, but I'm not sure. I don't know too much about it, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Was there anything else you guys would like to talk about or add?
Up to you. I'm open to keep debating, or you can move it on to someone else.
Up to you.
We'll move on. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, feel free to support me via Venmo, PayPal. Find a link tree in the bio. Oh, guess who's in the queue right now?
Who?
Do you remember Platform?
Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. I probably have 20 more minutes left in the live, everyone.
Watch this. Watch this. Hey, Platform, I need you to answer my question right now. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Good boy! You're a good boy, Platform.
Parker, don't act like you.
Good boy. See, I probably look crazy mean, crazy toxic, and crazy rude to 95%
But you just
of the
you
people
just don't know
watching.
who Platform is, okay?
You have no clue who he is. If you think that was rude of me, you do not know who Platform is.
You just don't know who he is. I promise you.
Should we let him up for a debate or just kind of keep him in the...
For a few seconds until the chat realizes how insane he is?
Dude, we haven't talked to Platform forever.
Yo, I just want to say, Parker, you were just asking.
Isn't the last time we talked
up in your...
Isn't it the last time we talked to Platform he got mad that we called him a cannibal? Because under his own view, right?
I don't
he was
even
eating the.
Do you guys realize how type
drinking
A
the blood
you
of
are?
Christ.
I don't even remember the last.
Wait, hold on. Dean, can you tell your moderators to unmute me from the chat?
Oh, you know what? I remember the last conversation I had with him. I don't know if I really want to talk to him again.
No, you don't. You just made that
Go
up.
for it.
You guys are just scared to debate me because last time, every time we debated,
platform. The
you've
last
been
time,
demolished, and that's
the
where you're
last
scared to bring
time
me up.
we had a debate, I'm pretty sure you ended up like denying the death toll of the Holocaust.
No, I don't
Oh
think
my
I did.
God.
Do you remember
I think
that?
that I said I questioned the numbers that came out, but I didn't deny it.
Do you remember
It's
that?
okay.
Do you remember that, Parker?
You question the numbers that came out? Yeah, that's insane shit. Yes, now I do remember that now that you tell me.
Yeah, I didn't.
I did not remember that before. My memory did not.
It took
pick
me like
that
a
up.
second to pick up on it. Yeah, I will opt to not debate like Holocaust deniers. Hello Tech, do you support Trump?
Oh no, I'm a supporter for you and Harris.
Hey, dude, you're awesome, man.
Man,
I want to be like you when I'm your age. W them. All right, y'all. We're probably gonna do another guest or two. Well, the live just got banned. Actually, let's see what the violation clip is because it gives us a clip now. Innovation, and the way that innovation is clear in a labor force is through like. All right, guys. Higher skilled labor. Sorry, Parker's gonna call us in Discord real quick. But we are going to go ahead and like play the clip that got us banned because we could actually hear the clip that got us banned. And I want to be able to play it for you guys. We'll also play it for Parker. Yo, Parker, hello, can you hear me? I can't hear him. Let's see if we could change it and make it so I could hear him. Everyone just go ahead and just give me a second. Real quick, go to voice and video. Input. Output. Give me a second, Parker. Parker, hello?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
All right, we should be able to hear each other now. All right, Parker and chat, do you guys
Yep,
want to hear?
I hear.
Do you guys want to hear the clip that TikTok just gave me that got the live band?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. And the way that innovation is clear in a labor force is through like higher skilled labor, higher skilled laborers.
I don't disagree with that, but I also don't think that giving all of the illegal immigrants that are there now citizenship, I think they should go back to their country of origin and then go.
But you don't have any good reasons to suggest that.
But there should be an increase in funding.
Bruh!
That's crazy. Oh, chat can't hear you. What the fuck? Oh, that's
Bruh!
what it is.
That is the clip that got us banned. Are you joking?
Can y'all hear him now?
I gotta screen record that real quick.
That is crazy though, Dean.
I'm just gonna screen record it real quick. So you'll be able to hear it. So it was a guy saying.
Play it one more time for the chat because my chat didn't hear it.
All right, and the way that innovation is clear in a labor force is through like higher skilled labor, higher skilled laborers.
I don't disagree with that, but I also don't think that giving all of the illegal immigrants that are there now citizenship, I think they should go back to their country of origin and then go.
But you don't have any good reasons to suggest that.
But there should be an increase in funding.
That's the clip that got us banned.
Insane. That's so fucking ridiculous.
How? Literally
like,
how?
What did you get banned for? What did it say?
Hate speech.
What? What?
Yeah, that's hate speech. Come on, dude, you didn't know that?
You can't have any political conversation on TikTok right now.
That is like the most obvious, like just like that. Okay. The reality is that in America, about half of us think that undocumented migrants should be deported to their home country. In fact, I think I've even seen a poll that says 75% of us. Okay. It's a very popular belief. Very popular belief. That's the reality of the situation. So if you're telling me
have to be able to respond to
that I can't have a conversation with somebody that says undocumented migrants should be deported because apparently TikTok considers that to be hate speech, all that TikTok is doing is completely censoring having conversations about fact. You know, it's a fact that 75% of people think that. It's a fact that we need to be able to have conversations to change popular belief in America today. And it's also a fact that that is absolutely crazy.
That's fucking insane. Like, I actually cannot believe that.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous, dude.
Let's see if the
I mean,
appeal
well,
goes through.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope it does. I hope it does, because that's fucking insane. And is that your only account?
No, I have another one. Gradients, thank you so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Gradients says, Trump is raising taxes on the working class while deporting migrants who pay hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes. Maggots should explain why ordinary Americans like me have to foot the bill for their extremist agenda. So real, Gradients. You're a very thoughtful mind. Thank you for the $20, as well as Abby. Thank you for the $14. That is very kind of you both. Thank you so much. And also Rachel with a $3 on Venmo, Lola with a $3 on Venmo, and then Jesse with a 2, and Maureen with a 1. And Emery, $5 over on PayPal. Thank you guys so very much. What's your plan for the rest of the night, Mr. Parker?
I'm gonna hang out. We should hang out here. Maybe we could get a. I have someone on the stage right here. Matt, you'll be able to hear Matt. You should be able to hear him without him even joining the call. Do you hear him?
Nope.
Or no, you don't. Here, I got you. Hold up one sec. Hold up one second, Matt. I know how to do it. I'm
gonna fix it by just yelling Dean over and over again.
There goes. What's going on, Matt? How we doing?
Dean, hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, what's up?
Thank you so much for the $35 donation over on Venmo. O says, what you said about social security numbers isn't true. Non-citizens can have social security numbers. If you're on an F1 visa, like foreign student, you get issued an SSN. Yeah, I knew that. But for whatever reason, I forgot that in making that statement. So I apologize for saying that only citizens have SSNs, and that is not true. Thank you for the $35, as well as making sure that was brought to my attention. Thank you, O. That is very kind. Anyways, Parker, Matt, how we doing?
Doing pretty good. Probably gonna get off here in like 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes, probably like 10 minutes more.
Yeah, are you gonna go to the meeting about the Unfuck America tour? Are you gonna pop in?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, I think I will too.
You guys are fancy.
Yeah, we have a little bit. So tonight we have a big old meeting with essentially everybody that's gonna be there. Guess we'll both pop in. It'll be a whole lot of fun. We're going to discuss a couple things. I am really excited for the Unfuck America tour, guys. That is happening a week and a day from now. It's actually very close. Wow. Very, very, very exciting. Who else is excited for that? Because I know I am. And the girl, I forget her name, the woman the icon that went up to Charlie Kirk and wore that shirt with me and Parker on it and pressed him.
We should react to that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I did yesterday on my live. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
No,
you
like,
tell us. You can just tell.
Did you see like what happened?
No, I didn't.
Go look at the recent.
I saw, like...
Go look at Charlie Kirk's recent post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Melee, the icon. She showed up to him in person with a shirt that said "Fuck Charlie Kirk" with pictures of me and Parker on it, and let him know to his face. Told him to debate us. That'll be Melee. Okay.
That's so fucking hilarious.
Oh, it is. CD, thank you for the $15 donation of Venmo. As a member of the t-shirt community, it's exhausting being a topic of conversation. Love you guys. As a member of the trans community. Okay, thank you so much for the love, CD. And 0.01% of the population has been targeted and attacked by like a remaining 65 for no other reason but to get populist support for the Republican Party. And that's a fact. Debate Kyle.
Diabolical.
Don't know who Kyle is. D1 spammer. Yeah, look at that. It is at 4 million views. Huh.
I know that's a huge clip.
Oh, dude, you know the conversation that we had with Q-Top with Athena?
Yep.
So one of the clippers ended up like taking that recording and they put it on a TikTok video, and it has 850,000 views, and it's just Athena absolutely cooking Q-Top.
Oh wait, what's the account name?
Politics, quite frankly. We want to listen in real quick.
Yes.
Take a listen.
I just checked because he said I was dumb, right? For like bringing up the fact that dictionaries don't necessarily know how to define words.
Well, you don't want to run this point, Kobe. You don't want to run this point.
No, I actually do. I actually do.
I promise you don't, bro. I promise.
Trust me. I feel like he doesn't know who I am. So if we go to Oxford dictionaries,
oh my
God. They themselves say that their dictionary is descriptive. And they don't even know. So yeah. So they say, how do you know what a word means? Oxford itself is saying we don't always know. And they say that their dictionaries are descriptive and not prescriptive. In other words, when they're defining a word, they combine their understanding of how it is used currently within language with an analysis of resources such as Oxford English Corpus.
That boy being getting big.
And then when we do go to Merriam-Webster, I don't know why you're laughing. When we go to Merriam-Webster,
People laugh when they lose.
Yeah. So when they go to Merriam-Webster, they also say the same thing, right? They see that Merriam-Webster is a descriptive dictionary, and that it aims to describe and indicate how words are actually used within English. Generally, the descriptive approach does not dictate how words should be used or set forth rules of correctness, unlike a prescriptive approach. So I was actually right? When it comes to the word racism,
Dude, it's just literally Athena cooking his ass. Just eating him up. I'm so happy that clip got visibility.
Like, I know, seriously, dude. I love seeing clips like that like do really well.
Leo with a $4 saying, designing you and Parker tour shirts, you at A&M? Yeah, I'll see you there, Leo. That's awesome. Unironic
Tina, think of it.
W. Oh, another thing, guys. We are on the path to 1 million followers on Instagram. If my calculations are right,
Thank you, Mir.
we are going to be at...
Dean.
What's that?
That's actually nuts, Dean.
I know. Yeah, we're going to be at 1 million followers on Instagram. Hopefully in like the next 3 weeks.
I got to catch up, man.
Dude, well, you might. Your Instagram posts have been performing
1 million,
great.
you said?
Yeah, 1 million. 1 million. So in the last month, we did 200,000 followers on Instagram. And it's only going faster. It's crazy. I don't know what is causing the Instagram to grow so significantly. But I will say Instagram is like probably my favorite social media platform at the moment.
It's because it was like it's like what TikTok was, low-key.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like now TikTok is just so restricted where you can't even use it. But like they don't monetize at all. Like Instagram has nothing for that. What's your last 30 days level of views?
Let's see.
I think I have like almost 12 million.
30 million.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, in the last 30 days, 178,916 new followers. Holy fuck.
I only have about 29,000 new followers.
I started investing in Instagram pretty early on. I remember, dude, it took me a while to convince you to hop on it. Instagram's awesome, bro.
Instagram just didn't work for me for the longest time.
It's probably one of my favorite media. So guys, if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram. Super exciting stuff over there. Always putting out more and more and more. I actually think I'm gonna go and hop off now. I gotta go to the meeting about the Unfuck America tour here in 7 minutes, but I want to go catch up with my girlfriend before I do. So I'm gonna go hop off for the night. Parker, Matt, it was a pleasure. And then for everybody watching over on YouTube, Parker, I don't know if you're gonna head on for any longer, but maybe go hang out with him until he does end.
Yeah, come over and like my stream.
Oh yeah, before you leave here, actually like my stream too, and I'm also pretty sure I put out a video, or my team put out a video. I'm not even like proofing the videos that are posted on this account anymore. The team is doing such a good job at nailing the content. But yeah, go like the recent YouTube video upload, like the stream before you head out, and head over to Parker's at Parker Get a Job, and see you guys tomorrow. Quite frankly. Adios.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
All right, everyone, we'll answer